go. We are back. long, long time no see, right? I mean, everyone that's listening to this right this second would be on the playback most likely because notifications haven't gone out yet. I'm gonna check YouTube and see when was our last podcast because it's been a couple months. I'm pretty sure. Probably. All right. And I've just been doing shit in the meantime, like streaming. Probably. Yeah, probably. Probably. You might be right. Why didn't I name that stream? Okay, that's weird. Okay. Da, da, da. I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Quick update with Cam. That was 5 months ago. Another one from 5 months ago. That's another one from like 5 months ago. What's up, Humane? What's up, Darth? It's been over 5 months since we've done a podcast. I can't speak because I'm still scrolling. Oh, 7 months ago. Yep, yep. I happened to scroll upon it. 7 months it's been since we've had a "What do you think, bitch" moment. How does that make you feel? Yeah, something like that. Where? I'm trying. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I know with wifey coming back, and yeah, like I've always got chaos going on. You've got your own chaos going on, so it's been like hard to mesh together, especially with your schedule changing. Like, it's hard for us to kind of meet up to do this, obviously. Mm-hmm. But at least we had, yeah. Or I'm offline, or it's just like it's just a nonstop of like us being like two passing ships in the night, you know. One day we'll get there. And you can't hear me? Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. 1 second. They're saying like they can't hear us. Well, Humane's saying he can't hear us. Let me check Twitch. 1 second. Unless he's thinking the audio might be low. Hold on, hold on. I'm checking. Audio's fine, so it might be your stuff, not you, him. You can't hear him? How are you not hearing him? Speak, Davis, so I can see if I can hear you on stream. Sorry, I have to like wait because there's like a delay on the stream when I. Yeah, for whatever reason, you're coming up quiet. Why is that? Yeah, we've never had problems before with it. No, that's weird. Like he's saying that you're quiet, but like I'm not even getting audio of you on the actual stream, which is interesting. No, normally I don't have to fuck with it. Hold on, let me try. See if that does anything. Hold on, I'm just like switching with things. Speak. Okay, you came up now.
Okay.
I don't know why, but like lately with Streamlabs, it's been messing with my audio settings and it's really getting annoying.
You looking good today. Looking good today. Look at you.
Thank you.
Because you look
I
great. You look great
mean,
every day.
a
You look
beach.
great
That's
every
a
day.
lie, but okay, I'll take
You look great.
it.
You good every day.
Bitch, I look like a troll most days. It's great. You know what I mean?
I don't see. I don't see it.
Bitch, I
As
just
far
took
as
my
I
hair
know.
down out of a fucking messy bun that's been up for the last 2 days. It's just a hot mess. Okay, good. You guys can hear him. Good, 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 good. I apologize. I think Streamlabs keeps messing with my audio settings lately, and it's really annoying. So our apologies. But for all of you who don't know, this is Davis. He's the cyborg
Hello.
picture because he doesn't want to show his face, but that's okay. um, and this is what do you think, bitch? It's been 7 months. We've returned.
7 months. We
My
started it in the
Xbox is
year,
the
and it.
same as my name on here. Cherry Darling 12.
I think it's without the 12 though.
No, it's with the 12.
Let's see.
No, it's always with the
Oh yeah, it
12.
is with the 12.
Yeah.
It's always with the
The
12. Yeah.
only thing I didn't do the 12 on, and it has to be Cherry Darling, which I hate. Well, I don't hate, but it was
You do.
for a game. What the fuck was it called? I was just told to Super People. It's on Steam.
Mm.
So yeah,
Okay. Okay.
that's the
Yeah,
only
man.
place.
But yeah, I do not work in the field of corrections anymore. I
Mm-mm.
am now.
Moving on up.
I'm. I'm the now hero of the night. I'm the 911 dispatcher. If you ever call and need CPR, I'll try my best to save you, but you're probably gonna die. But still,
The
but
confidence.
I'll
You're
say
probably gonna die.
you're
I love
probably
that.
gonna die, but it's okay. It's
I,
okay.
I love that for you.
Mama just killed a man.
It's a
This
hedgehog.
needs me.
Humane. It's a hedgehog. No, I haven't
I
done
have a
much gaming on
question.
Xbox lately, but go on, Davis. Sorry.
I have a question of the day for everybody in the chat.
Hmm.
It's random as hell, but that's me. All right.
Go on.
What is your favorite cereal, people?
Mm.
If you have one.
See, it's a toughie. It really is. Because I can fluctuate between cereals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like yeah, on the normal health nut shit, I can eat like Cheerios and shit like that.
I
But
love
like,
Cheerios, dude. You give me those honey
now if I
nut
just don't
Cheerios.
give a fuck,
Mm.
I like Fruit Loops, Pops, Apple Jacks,
I love Pops. I'm not even gonna lie. I fucking love
Captain
Pops.
Crunch. Which Captain Crunch, Blue? Which one?
Are we talking without the berry little thingies or with them? Because they do both versions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which one? Let's see. I'm not sure.
And get rid of those.
It
Sorry.
was mixed with traditional Cheerios.
Corey says I'm not sure. He was mixed with traditional Cheerios. Stupid voice. Yeah. Okay. Corey tends to use voice to text, so sometimes her messages might not make sense, or the yeah. I should just let you
No,
know
no,
that,
I
Davis.
check. Oh no, you're
Honey
fine.
Nut Cheerios mixed with traditional. Oh, Corey. Corey.
Yeah,
Mm.
those are good.
I
You get
love
that
me some
honey
Honey
taste.
Nut, dude. I can't help myself. Shut up.
What? Okay.
Dad says he doesn't have a favorite cereal. Closely followed by
Okay, that's
Lucky
fine.
Charms. Okay. I can feel you on Lucky Charms. I love Cinnamon
Hell
Toast
yeah.
Crunch. But that's not an every time. Like, I can't do that all the time because it gets to be a bit much. I love Pops. They're plain as fuck,
Cause
but I love
Pops,
them.
I don't know. I don't know what it is about that basic ass cereal, but
I
it just hits
fucking
different. I
love
don't
it.
it like it hit different. Like I don't like I can eat the whole fucking box. I'm like, why am I
Mm-hmm.
just chomping down this fucking box?
A
Like
damn straight. And the thing is, when it comes to my cereals, I want something enjoyable that's not like so roughage like. You know what I mean? I
right.
don't know.
It's like just like cinnamon toast crunch. It's just sugary fucking squirt. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's just fucking there,
And
but it's good as shit.
with that, I like it just because I don't have cinnamon all the time, and like sometimes I'm really really craving it, so I need it. You know?
Yeah, I'm like, what in the fuck? Like, it's
That's
good.
another
Like,
good
if you
one. That's
feeling
my
like,
second favorite
I'm
one.
not gonna lie, if you feeling like low on like sugar, like cinnamon toast
Mm-hmm.
crunch will kick that shit back up. Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's like the
And
same with sodas. It's like I don't need it all the time, but I like it as like a little boost, and especially since I have been like
like,
a bit of a caffeine sugar addict in the past.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like sometimes after I work out, like I feel like my sugar's low, so I like to
it
get some
probably
like gummy
is.
worms. Yeah, like so I get some gummy worms or
Mm.
something like chewy or something like that that kind of kicks me back into
Get your
action.
damn gummy worms. No, like I don't do sweets that often. I know this is like not our main topic of the day, so stay with us, guys. But like, yeah, like I don't do candy as much anymore. Like I used to be
Nah,
bad,
like yeah, can't like I don't
or
like
like
eat a whole
sugary
lot of
stuff.
like
Yeah,
see. Yeah, I don't eat a whole lot of it, but like every now and then I can use it.
yeah, I agree. Like, I used to be
Like every
bad.
now and then, like
I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
I
it's
used to be
perfect.
really bad with the sugar.
Oh
Really
yeah.
bad. Like honestly, I could like sit there and like keep shoving like chocolate down my throat until I felt sick. Like I just then again, I was like a bottomless pit back then.
Mhm.
I had no shame. I almost ate a whole pizza without my
Mhm.
brother coming down for dinner. I
Mhm.
like left him one slice and I was still hungry.
Oh, back in the day when I like ate,
Oh,
like I used to eat like a fucking truck, so I would like eat
dude. I was
hella pieces of
bad.
chicken.
And
Yeah, it was
I was
horrible.
so tiny too. So I was just like nonstop. Oh my god, it was so great. Nowadays that's nope. Nope. Corey says blue sharks are superior to gummy worms. My brother loves the blue sharks. He loves that. Unless the gummy worms are in Oreo mud. Oh, I haven't had mud in like forever. It's like dirt. Well, I think they used to call it dirt. Oh my god. Like it's been too long. Way too long.
It's been forever.
No, I've been like lately I did have some like gummy bears that are like I guess healthier. I mean, they still have sugar, but they're like, I don't know, gluten free and some bullshit like
See,
that.
that's where it gets a little iffy for me. If I'm just gonna do it, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
it's see the way I look at like dieting now is like you don't
Mhm.
have to cut anything out.
Yeah,
You just have to not eat as much of it as you
that's
used
true.
to. You know.
That is very
So
true.
like if you ate 5 bags of candy in one day, cut it down to maybe two.
My dad.
You know.
What?
What? Like what?
No, but like that's the thing. It's all about moderation and like sometimes like there's people that have that addictive personality that just cannot give it up and
Mm,
mm, it's gonna get you in the end. It's gonna bite you in the ass. Straight up.
right in the ass, like right
All
on the
right, he mean
septum.
says, "Do you know what my profile picture is from?" Well, I'm not looking at it right now, so I don't know. And Corey said, "My family calls it worms and dirt." Yeah, I've heard it called mainly dirt. I think I have heard people call it mud before, but you know, all personal preference, obviously. But it's all
Personal
good.
preference. It's all good at the end of the day. It is delecto, the
I
mundo.
like how we went on a tangent of like cereals and like little treats.
Oh yeah. Hey, sometimes it's best to like you got to find out like like what people like.
Like, baby, I'm a foodie. Okay, so
Like next time I'm gonna have something different. Okay, I'm gonna have something different.
he's gonna have more questions
It's
for
just to
y'all.
get. It's gonna be, to get the brain going. Like oh shit, I never thought about this before.
Mm-hmm.
Like now I must warn people: do not ask me and Cherry like move. That's our favorite movies and things
Oh,
like that. That is
don't.
a bottom.
No,
That's a
no.
bottomless pit.
No. Now
Like that is a
the thing is when we do that kind of shit, we have to go like I have to make a list. Like there has to be a specific list and then like even then I'm like this is not in any kind of order. I'm not putting anyone above another. Like I'm so bad about it.
right.
And the thing is
I can't do it.
yeah,
I
and I
can't do
can
it.
be
I'm just straight up
indecisive.
like
Like I will have more than one favorite. So it's a problem.
the wife tried to ask me that question. I said, "See, you can't ask me those kind of questions." I told her exactly just like that. You can't ask me those kind of
Mm,
questions. She said, "Why not?" She said, "Because I am a movie addict. In case you have not noticed,
facts.
so there is no direct favorite because each movie I've like experienced
Mhm.
in a different way. Like they're emotion. I'm emotionally attached to certain movies.
Yes.
So it's just
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, like each movie I watch is a memory behind it, good or bad,
Yeah.
mostly good. But
I think that even comes down to like, okay, my romance movies or like movies that just make me cry, right? So The Notebook, that's up there. That's top tier. If you want me to have an emotional day and I need a good cry, I'm watching that fucking movie. I will sit there and bawl my eyes out at the end. Like I can't. It fucking it's true. And the thing is like the worst part is like I'm in like this weird glass case of emotion. So even if you say something funny, I will go in this like the weird like cry laugh situation and I can't decide what I'm doing and I'm like a wreck. Like, it's bad. Um, A Walk to Remember. I can't.
oh yeah, I
Like
love that
the
movie.
end. I'm done. I'm done. My Girl.
I love that movie.
I legit was scrolling through TikTok at like
That movie
3, 4 o'clock in the
sucks. Like
morning.
not in a bad way sucks, but that movie
Like
is
yeah,
that is a tearjerker. Yeah, that
and
is that.
I'm like legit scrolling through TikTok and I see like this video like this mother like was recording her teenage daughter after they watched My Girl and she was dying and she's like he can't see without his glasses and she's bawling her eyes out, mascara's running down her face. I'm like that's me. I just I
Yeah,
cried, not even lying. I was watching Cobra Kai. Okay, y'all can thank Neon for forcing me to watch it finally.
you said, oh, you finally would you okay?
Okay, I'm almost done season
So
3.
Neon, Neon convinced you to watch it, but when I
Yeah.
said something, you like
Well, because
this is some bullshit.
I just haven't had time, and I was just like, whatever.
No,
I'm
no, it's
what?
fine.
Shut up.
This is
Okay,
why I left. This is why I left.
this
This
is
is why
why
I
I
left
left.
away. No,
I fucking
okay.
can't. Um, so I started watching it, and the episode where he goes to Japan and he meets up with a girl, and she reads like Mr. Miyagi's letters, and the one before he dies, it got to me, dude. I started crying, and like he basically said like Daniel is like, you know, treated him like a son, and that was his family, and all this stuff, and I was like, oh, I can't take it. I
All
was
right.
a
So
mess.
since you've seen it already,
Hmm.
which side you rocking with?
Okay, well, since we're already divided into separate groups, so now we have Cobra Kai, Eagle Fang, and then Miyagi Do, right? I'm still going with
I mean,
Miyagi
I
Do
still fuck.
right now because
Um,
obviously Eagle Fang and Miyagi Do is gonna merge because that just
yeah, yeah,
makes
obviously
sense.
on that note, but yeah, but
All right, see you, Humane, and I see you, Darth. I see you, giggity. Um,
giggity giggity. But
I okay, Cobra Kai. It's taken over by Kreese again, and he's an asshole, straight up. Like I okay, I could rock with Cobra Kai in the beginning when it was
when it was
and
Johnny's Cobra Kai, I
yeah,
was fucking with it.
yeah. When it was Johnny's, I was fucking with it. Like he started to change, and you could see that change in him, right? But then
Hmm.
once he allowed Kreese back in, and it went back to its old ways, it was just
Oh, absolutely, yeah,
no.
absolutely,
And
yeah.
now it's Kreese's again, so it's like I'm out. Fuck that. And I'm a rock with
Honestly,
Miyagi though because fucking Mr. Miyagi was the shit. All right, I don't want to hear
I
nothing.
just don't. I just don't fuck with Daniel. Like, that's not nothing wrong. I don't have nothing
Yeah.
against Mr. Miyagi
Mhm.
himself. If Mr. Miyagi was running, I wouldn't have no problem with it. But it's
Right.
just Daniel. He's being a like total fucking like I gotta be the hero whore. Like fuck no, man. Get
Like,
off your
but
own
I can
dick, bro.
understand to a point of why he feels like he has to be the hero. Um, Captain
Because
Save a
he
Ho.
think like he thought, yeah, like he think Kreese was coming back and all this stuff like that. You, if anything, you woke him up by trying to stop it from the jump. Like you should have just let
Well,
Johnny do what he do. Like
but
that's the only thing I got a problem with. He treated Johnny like he's still the old high school bully. Like, bro,
uh,
you're a grown ass man,
but
bro.
I think
Like
the main problem is that Johnny and Daniel were holding this grudge against each other
for
because of
different
oh
reasons,
yeah,
yeah.
which let's be fair, it was all basically because of Kreese's teachings of why Johnny was the way he
Yeah,
was. Um,
yeah, because they were kids at the time. Like they were teenagers.
right,
Yeah, Johnny was
right.
still an asshole, still is, but still, like,
But
like yeah,
he's more
like,
of a
but
likable asshole now because like you can see he's
he's a grown
trying.
man now. Yeah, yeah, he's just a grown man who's just
You can see how he's
dead
trying to
now.
change now. when it comes down to some of the students, there's some that deserve to get their faces punched in,
Oh yeah, because
curb
most of them are
stomped,
major fucking pussy. Yeah, like they need some of them need
and
that ass whooping just to
yeah.
wake them up. Like yeah, like especially with Miguel. Like in the beginning, yeah, he needed an ass whooping to wake him up. Like bro, you need to
Well,
get
and
your
the
shit
fact is when he got too big for his britches and like he was dating Sam, if I'm correct, yeah,
together.
he turned into an asshole. He got very jealous. All that shit, started drinking, get crazy, and thinking that she's gonna tolerate that shit. No, fuck you, bro. You deserve to get your ass kicked straight up. All right. Now, when it comes to Tori, now I know that's Neon's favorite, and I keep on hearing it every time.
I
No,
love
she deserves to get her
I
ass
love
beat.
Tori.
I would fucking
I
rip
love me
that
some Tori
fucking
though.
shitty ass hair out of her fucking head if she treated anybody like that. I don't give a fuck if your mama's sick. No, 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 no. That does not give you the right to treat anybody the way she did. And because
Mm-mm.
she was jealous, she started that fight at the high school, and that's why Miguel got in fucking his ass,
Oh yeah,
fucked
I
up.
agree. I agree. Like she was being a raging whore at the
uh,
time. Yeah, like
don't
I agree
act
with
like
that.
she's fucking innocent and then pull like the whole, oh well, her past. No, 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 no. Fuck that shit. No, 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 no.
No, I'm not making no excuses for it. That season. I didn't like her. Then
Yeah.
that season two, like I didn't like her very much.
Now
Yeah,
I'm not saying
like
that
at all.
that it couldn't change and that I'll like her eventually, but what I'm seeing right now is like no, thank you. Mhm.
Yeah, no, I
Because
totally
as I see
understand
it,
that.
if I was in that situation, I would have curb stomped her fucking face in. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, and I don't. You said you just finished
I'm
three?
almost finished season 3. I think
Nah, I'm
I've.
on like yeah. Now you're gonna. I feel like in season five, like I know where Sam is going. I know which direction she's
Mhm.
gonna go. She's gonna stray away from her daddy. Like
Probably.
promise that. I feel it.
Let me
Like
put that back up there.
if she hasn't done it now, like I don't blame her. Like her dad is just like yeah, he's like
But
he
that's like the
always like no,
natural
you have to
progression of
do it the
every
Mister
teen.
Miyagi. But
Let's
like
be fair.
he feel like the Miyagi way is there's no other way in life. That I think that's probably why I'm like
Hmm.
not on Daniel's side so much is because he feels like yeah, what Miyagi says goes. Like everything is Mister Miyagi. Like I'm like
But
no.
you gotta think it's when Miyagi came into his life, it was.
During a critical time, yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? The whole nine. Like
I mean, yeah, that was his new father figure. His father died, I believe, of cancer or something. So like that was a
I believe
whole.
so, or left him, or something like
No,
that.
I think it
Yeah.
was cancer because I was reading about it like I think the other night or something, just to get a little lure. Lore. I can't speak.
Okay, I don't remember.
Um,
I gotta watch
I don't know why
Karate
I
Kid
said lure,
again, but yeah.
but yeah, lore, and yeah. So I can understand why he's so. This was Miyagi's way. This is how we need to do it. Da 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 da. And it worked for Miyagi, but I think with the circumstances of this
It's
show
a
right
new,
now,
yeah, it's a new time and era. Like these kids nowadays, like the jocks, they're assholes. You gotta sometimes.
straight
The
up,
only way to beat an asshole is out asshole them. Is that's pretty.
agreed.
You know.
All
Yeah,
right,
like these kids is different. They not like it's not just one or a few assholes in the school. Like there is a bunch of
there's a bunch. Corey says people who
and they
use their
getting
past as an
older and
excuse to
smarter.
create more pain need to go back and learn. Exactly, Corey. And that's my problem with the whole Tori chick is like, no, you're not going to use her past as an excuse because then if that was the case, Davis could use his past as an excuse to be an asshole all the time. I could. Anybody could. It doesn't give you a free pass to be a dick. Straight up.
Exactly. Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely.
You're a dick because
I
you're a
think
dick.
Tori. Yeah, I think Tori. She
Yeah.
was already a little bitch at the time, but
Hmm.
then now you just taught her karate. So you just added on to it at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah. I think the girl needs therapy. That's what she really needs. But
And like, and what Kreese is doing, he's not doing anything but like
Crease,
inciting that, inciting.
exactly. Crease is just inciting the rage. He's igniting that fire to cause more problems because that's how he dealt with his problems, and that's what he was taught. And he thinks it's his way or the highway, and voila.
It's
I
like
mean,
Johnny just teaches you how to deal with guys like him.
yeah.
To deal with an asshole, you need to fuck them up.
If you think about it,
Simple.
the Crease's teachings is like the cycle of abuse through any kind of family. You know what I mean? It starts with one generation
Oh,
and
absolutely.
continues down and down and down and down until someone eventually breaks that cycle. Simple as that.
Absolutely. Big facts.
Corey says, hell, if I wanted to, I could use my past to be an asshole. Exactly. So I'm like,
I mean,
this.
everybody can.
I'm like, that's why, like, when I'm talking to Neon about this, and like, his favorite is Tori, and I get it. You can have your favorites, but like, I'm watching like, when did she come in? Like season 2, season 3, something like that.
She came in like season 2.
She was just immediately hostile for no fucking reason, and I'm like, what the fuck? Excuse my
I
language,
mean,
but
like
I'm like,
everybody. I mean, like, but and, everybody knows why. Like everybody likes Tori just because she's just the hot chick. Like, there's no way around it.
mm,
Like, yeah, it's like of course
uh huh.
you like it. The yeah,
You only like her because the way she looks, and that's why you're giving her a pass. That's what a lot of people do. I'm not saying
exactly.
anybody
Like,
specific is
and I'm
saying that,
not, but
but
I
yeah.
don't get. I'm old. I don't know how old Neon is, but I'm older than him. I don't give bitches like that a pass. No, you gonna straighten the fuck
All
up.
right, later, Darth. It was nice seeing you. But
You gonna
yeah,
straighten the fuck up, bitch. Alright, you gonna knuckle up, right?
I'm just saying,
Shit.
I've seen the Mean Girls. I've seen that bullshit. No, every time I've dealt with one of them, I wanted to beat their fucking face in. You know what I mean? It's simple
Yeah.
as that. I'm not giving you a fucking
Just like
pass
Sam,
because of
Sam is
anything that
starting to head in
happened to
that
you.
direction.
Yeah,
Sam is starting to
exactly.
head in that direction. If she becomes a bitch, I'm not gonna be on her side. It's just like, yeah, it's just
Right, right, right,
simple.
right. And that's the thing. It's like, even with Sam, I'm seeing it in her, and I'm like, stop being a bitch. Like, just stop. It's not
Like,
that
stop being
fucking
a little, like,
serious.
yeah, stop being a little pampy ass princess, like over
But
here.
that could be
Shit,
said
like,
about all of them, and it's just like, shut the fuck up. Just
shut the
stop.
fuck up. The
Just
wife
stop.
too. the
I know,
wife,
right?
Daniel's wife, all of them.
I think they all need to sit down, shut the fuck up.
Like, big facts. One, two,
Corey says, to be fair, we are talking about literal teenagers and children. Most people,
I said the
most of
wife
them
too.
don't know how
Grown
to
ass women too.
not do that. I
Miguel,
mean,
Miguel, mama, Miguel, mama need to chill out too. Shit, her ass over here like,
Robbie's
shut
mom,
up.
she eventually got it together.
Yeah,
But I didn't like how she
yeah,
left him either. That was some bullshit. She left him with no food, didn't even pay any of the bills up, nothing. Just left him to get, to fend for himself. And like, oh, I'll come back, and he didn't come
yeah.
back. Like, that's messed up.
That shit get on my fuck. Yeah, and I like I said, I
Mm-mm.
don't give like yeah, I don't like yeah. Just because you're the little teen queen hot girl over here, you don't get no
Mm.
pass. Fuck that.
True.
Like yeah, fuck all that. Yeah, no, I don't give yeah. Yeah, like yeah, let's be real. Let's be honest on why that people give Tori a pass.
Why they give most
Damsel,
people a pass?
she has that damsel in distress aspect, but
Mm.
still tough as shit.
Facts.
That is exactly what
Also,
it is.
I feel like I need to point this out. I don't know why this bothers me, but okay. I first noticed it with Robbie's hair. Okay, I did not like how it like looked the entire time. You know how he had like the hair that like went
A
up to
lot.
like his cheeks that was like long or whatever. That shit looked
Mm-hmm.
fake as fuck. I'm not even gonna lie. It looked like a bad
I,
wig.
you know who he remind me of though? Like, and I tried to see if they were related. I
Okay.
know you know who I think he looked like. You know,
Okay. Who?
he looked like from Boy Meets World, Sean.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. I could see
You,
that.
you see
Ryder
what I'm
Strong.
saying? Like
Yeah.
with the hair, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Ryder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like with the hair,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
No. I like.
Especially when he cut it too. Especially when he cut it, I'm like, damn, you that man's doppelganger. Like, man.
Well, and the
Like
thing.
at that
Well, my
point,
problem is like the way the hair was done. I'm pretty sure it was fake ass hair because it just looked too. Eh.
it might have been extensions.
And
Yeah,
they
it might have
probably
been.
did not pluck that wig. If it was a wig, they did not pluck it right. Just like with Tori's hair, she had it like pulled back, I think, in a ponytail or something. That shit was not her hair. That was not her hair. They did not pluck that wig. I'm sorry, that is not her hair,
Peyton, Peyton Royce, that might be her actual hair because like when
dude.
you look at it, like
I'm pretty sure it wasn't because, there should have been. You could have seen her scalp. It should have been. I'm pretty sure it
right,
was a
I
wig. And the way the
you
hair
might
looks,
be
it
right.
looks way, way too fake and fried. So that leads me to believe it's a wig. Let's see.
You
Let's
might be right. You might be right though on some real
bitch,
shit.
I'm pretty good at figuring out wigs and like
Yeah, like
shit
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
It's
I
like
don't
you
know.
might be right on some real shit. Just cause like yeah, like I mean, but
Yeah,
It's Hollywood because she was on Disney and shit like that too. So this ain't her
I
first
know.
rodeo
No,
with
I
this
know.
shit.
Hold on.
It's funny you can see through the FIB building. I'm sorry, I'm on GTA as well.
Oh, he's multitasking, folks.
Yeah,
Corey says if it's a
I'm
wig
pretty good
and
at that.
looks fried, it makes sense for the character if they're not taking very good care of themselves. See, that's a tough thing. It's like I think where they're living, it looks like a decent, standard apartment, for what it is. Um, I mean, she looks fairly clean and everything put together. So I don't know. I don't know. Granted, it
Yeah,
depends on what you're
but
putting in
yeah,
your hair, what you're doing to
but
your
that
hair. So,
but that kind of goes into the psychology of like something else, and we can go into more depth on it later. But that's the psychology of men. Like we want, especially nowadays, we want like the triple threat. We want the whore, the bad girl, but also a little bit of damsel in distress. Like we're kind of, oh, like I can save her, and it's kind
ugh,
of like the same thing with women in the bad boy. Like they want
facts.
this bad boy. He's like, yeah, he's so
Look,
hard to
look.
get to, but
Prime
I can
example.
change him. I can mold
Prime
him.
example would be like Billy Hargrove. He's the most despicable human being on Stranger Things. I'm not going to deny that. But is that motherfucker fine as fuck? Hell yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
With a mullet and
That's
all.
how it is, though.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
that's
he
how
could
it is.
sweet
That's
talk
how.
the pants off you. I'm not going to lie. All right.
And some shorties like that guy in the recent season, Eddie. They like him.
hmm Well, Eddie's just a weird one. You know?
But they like that shit. They like that, especially with the '80s haircut and the whole nine. Like, yeah, they like that for some. They like that shit.
Yeah, that's a good point, Corey. I agree. I agree. But yeah, like I don't know. You when it comes to characters or people in general, yeah, you let them bypass on their behaviors or whatever because they're based off their looks and your attraction to them. It's
I
basic
mean,
human
I know from
interactions and
my
logic
experience,
and
you can look very clean and put together and still be an absolute mess. Oh yeah, absolutely.
now, yeah, do you want to like say that her freaking landlord over there is a creep? Sure. Okay. But you know
Mm.
how many cretins I've come in contact with that try that bullshit? You know what I mean? Like yeah, I'm not going to allow it to make me an asshole to people that don't deserve it. You know what I mean? Or that you're jealous of
Oh,
somebody else.
absolutely.
But hey, you know.
Facts.
Corey says
I
it makes me
digress.
glad I'm not attracted to anyone next watching certain movie genres. Really hard though. Oh, makes I forget that she has the voice to text sometimes, so it's like Nick's. Who's Nick? Makes
Who
watching
is
certain movie
Nick?
genres are really hard though. Yeah, like if you go to certain movie genres, um like a lot of people say the Notebook's toxic relationship. I get it. I get it. Do I care? No. It's a problem.
Right.
It's a problem. You know? But like everybody has their type and their thing that they're going to just go for and like the classic thing is the bad boy, bad girl kind of situation. Some like the girl next door, some like that innocent thing and they get a bypass, you know? All right. Corey says, I get what you mean. That's like the main reason I can't watch romance movies though. They just kind of uncomfortable and hurt. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, some romance movies, I just like a good cry. Like it's just a beautiful ending, and I'm like okay, Notebook. I will constantly go back to this, but at the end, if for anybody who doesn't know, spoiler alert, they die. Um, I
Mm.
thought it was so beautiful that um they're the last moments together. Like they die together, and it's like this most I don't know it this oh eternal love this fucking like love can do this we can die together in a bed like and it's so beautiful and it's
Mm-hmm.
sad and they just went together and it was just like your love can do anything and I'm like my heart I'm
So you see, but also too another thing, like you see how
broken.
romance movies are different now. Like now it's like erotica sex shit. Now
Oh
it's not even
yeah.
anywhere near that now. Especially after 50 Shades of Grey, shit
Bitch.
changed.
Corey says
That changed the dynamic of the generation pretty
yeah.
much.
Corey says see if I want to go to cry I just go watch the beginning of Up. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
See,
I mean,
you know the funny thing? We were talking about this at my new job in my class with people.
uh
Like
huh.
we were talking about that. I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen the beginning of it. If I
Really?
did, I don't remember. I
Aw,
don't remember it if I did because I haven't seen it. If I only watched it once, I probably didn't
you need
like
to watch it.
it. Dissect. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. But like we were talking about like
Mm.
certain like movies like
Yeah.
introduced us to death and everything like that.
Yeah, it's sad. It is sad.
Because I said like we was talking about the best Disney movies and stuff like that. We said
Mhm.
the two best Disney movies of all time are Lion King and Toy Story.
Mm.
In my opinion, and
Toy
then
Story's a
also
classic.
everybody
Yeah.
else agreed too. Lion King, it's a tearjerker every time,
Yeah.
especially when the daddy dies. Once Mufasa's gone, it's like,
Dawn.
hmm,
Yeah. Corey says
I'm
Up is cute.
I'm
I agree, Corey. Like it was. See, those kinds of movies get to me. Like I don't know. After my grandfather died, I became very emotional and very like raw in emotions. So like things just make me cry. So like dogs dying or like the pet in a movie dies and I'm like what the fuck, why'd they kill him? I legit cried over like the cried, laughed over a picture of this dog that looked like kind of sad mad kind of situation, and I couldn't help myself. Like I was a mess. All right. Old people in movies gets me every time. The people, if I get this weird attachment to a certain character, I'm done. Like I'm done. I can't. Corey says, I'm going to be the odd one out. I read most of Disney movies by how much of the music I like. Because I like a lot of movies. The only songs I tend to enjoy are the villains. Interesting. I mean, when it comes to Disney movies, there's a weird, I guess, fine line. Because people like want to nitpick about the Disney movies. Like, with Beauty and the Beast. Oh, it's about bestiality. She's with this man that's the beast. He's like an animal. It's like what? You're reading way too deep into it. You know what I mean?
yeah, you digging way too deep, bro.
I mean, it's a
Too
curse,
deep in
people.
that.
Or they just find shit that's in these, and they're like, well, this is in there, and da 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 da. Um, when it comes to like rating Disney movies, once again, my indecisiveness does come out. Um, Lion King's where it's at for me with the music. I don't know. That and Mulan. Mulan's got a decent track. Not even gonna lie. Be your man. Da, 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 da.
Be a man.
And then with Lion King, I will sit there, like me and my brother would sing I Can't Wait to Be King. Like at the top of our fucking lungs. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it's amazing. Like some of the I will give Disney that. They have some of the best music like in the game. Let's be honest. Corey says, I feel that people who read too hard into Disney movies forget that they're based off of oh, blah, 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 old folklore. Why is that rearranged? That's weird. And could be so much worse. I'm like a hot mess today. I don't know. I love the music from The Lion King. Just put all that. It's great. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. There's some good ones. There's some good ones. I like how our progression has gone from Serial to Cobra Kai and everything else, which is like a slippery slope down. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Hey, look, it's called
Totally not our
conversation. Shit
top,
happens.
right? Totally not our conversation of like our main topic, obviously.
We got time. We got
We
look,
got time,
we're only 40 minutes. We got time. We got time, people. Like,
but
enjoy the conversation. Because what else are we doing? But not trying to die from COVID.
and monkeypox. Don't forget that. Again, rabbit trailing my conversations is my forte, right? That's the thing. Like, even if I weren't here with Davis, like if I was to sit here and just like talk about like whatever random stuff like I used to, I'll just like go down a rabbit hole of like, well, this da 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 da, and then this da 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 da, and it like, it's all over the place. Like, I'll apologize. I'd be like, sorry, I'm rambling. I'm just all over. And like, even when I used to do my like old YouTube videos, I used to kind of be like that sometimes, where I would just be all over the fucking place.
I mean, it's fun. It's fun to just to kind of like just lay it out there.
Well, and especially you have the banter with somebody, whether it's on your panel or in the chat. It's like that back and forth. It just it just happens. It just happens, and it's nice. It is
It's
so
magic.
nice. Yeah.
It's magic. It's easy
Ow.
to just it's easy to just build off of it. Like I said, it can start with cereal and then end up with kicking ass in martial arts. Cobra
Facts.
Kai got me into martial arts. I'm not gonna lie. Ever since I
Really?
picked the show up, like, yeah, it got like I always wanted to participate in it, but
Mm-hmm.
but this time around, once I like got locked into Cobra Kai, I'm like,
All
I'm doing
right.
it. I'm doing it. This is it's happening. This is happening.
Hey, and
This
if
is
it's
what I
something
was.
you
This is my
enjoy,
call.
do it.
I love kicking ass. Yeah, like especially I love kicking ass. Yeah, so
I
I want to be
mean,
able to kick ass.
my history with martial arts, never did I ever take a class or anything like that. But my love for that situation, we'll just say situation, uh, came from when I was growing up. You know what I mean? So like my dad was really into martial arts and the karate movies and all that stuff and Bruce Lee and those older
Yeah.
films and stuff like that.
I
And
also remember what times I live in too. So
right, right.
yeah.
So growing
Yeah.
up, we were always into that, or we were always doing some like I don't know. I don't want to say practice because it wasn't really practice, but like I had practice swords, like wooden swords and shit. Like you would sit there and you know
Hmm.
duke it out. I guess I had no checks. I had size. I had everything, like real swords and um, knives, throwing knives,
She said I love wooden swords.
a 3 section staff, and all that kind of stuff. So it's like you know
So
a
you
grand old
know how to
time.
so so you know how to handle a rod, don't you, Tig? Yeah.
You
Okay.
know it. You know
I
it.
gotta remember.
Yep.
I gotta. I'm gonna remember this. I'm writing this down.
Take your
I'm
notes.
holding you to that. I'm taking my notes.
All right, Siri.
Handles wooden sword.
Corey says I love wooden swords. Yeah, we had a.
Big
I have a
wooden sword.
guy that I get all my weapons from. Uh, and he's the sweetest old man. I love him. He's amazing. He always gives me discounts or he gives me something for free, so that's always nice. Um, and we had gotten the wooden swords from him. I remember them. They were like, obvious real life size. Blah blah blah. I remember them being black, which it's always interesting when they paint those kinds of things because they're eventually going to chip. So it's like, eh.
True.
Corey says I have one. I'm gonna generally call it a spanking sword. Whenever it crawls back out from hiding, I'm gonna tap my siblings behind with it. No, like my last incident with the practice swords, the wooden swords. I had it out and I was like doing some sort of exercise with the sword and like movement wise, I don't know. I was doing something, and the other one was out in the yard for whatever reason. And my neighbor, which there's a story about my neighbor, I will say it in a minute, um, came and picked it up, and he just like doesn't know what the hell he's doing, obviously, and just like started wailing on like my legs and everything. So I like would have bruises all over my legs because this asshole didn't know what the fuck he was doing and wasn't supposed to be
Hmm.
messing with it. And I'm like, you're a freaking idiot, dude. But another related story, because I'm pretty sure I've told it a million times on stream before. But that same neighbor, um, I think he might have been a little bit older than me, but he acted like a big baby. I'm not even joking. And he was spoiled. Like his parents gave him everything. Like his room was trashed with action figures and everything else. Um, but the one time, my grandfather lived next door, and that's where I lived. And I was out in my yard, whatever, and him and his cousin were out in the yard that we shared. And they came over, and like the kid that lived next door, like grabbed me and was like choking me out and would not let me go. And I think he was like behind me or something, and he had like his arm around me and like, couldn't do anything. So I bit him. I bit him until he let go, and then I went inside. Well, I guess it took him a while to go cry to his mommy about it. And roughly maybe a week or two later, his mother came over on a weekend to my grandfather's house to make a complaint. And it was funny because I wasn't at the house because my grandfather, before going home, had dropped me and my dad off at. There was supposed to be like a little um, parade or something going through town. So he's like, "Oh, you guys want to sit down here and watch? Go ahead." So my grandfather went home, and the mother came over, told him like, "Your granddaughter bit my son," and I think my grandfather was like, "Well, I guess he deserved it, didn't he?" And then I told
Hmm.
the story of
Tell
what
him.
happened, because I guess she thought I was gonna get grounded, which never happened. I got grounded once for 3 days. Okay, didn't last that long. Trust. And didn't get grounded. Said what he did, and they're like, whatever, it's fine. Yeah, I got away with it. But he
I got
deserved it.
away
Don't
with
fucking
it.
try to choke me out. I will bite your ass. I don't care. If I have to get out, I'm getting free one way or another. It was either nuts or you're getting bit. So pick one. I mean, that probably been
Yeah, I
worse.
come from a background. I come from a background where I like, especially when I was younger, I used to get my
Mm-hmm.
ass kicked a lot.
Yeah.
Hard to believe now, but
Yeah.
but yeah, but like yeah, I used to be like 4 foot, damn near 4 foot
Mm.
tall when I was little. So all the taller kids would want to beat me up for some reason. I
You just had that punchable face.
don't know. I guess I had a face where you just like, yeah, we're gonna jump you and beat you up because your mother makes good food and my mom does. And yeah, like the shit for shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck? I can't help that.
I mean, growing
But
up, I can't say that I've ever been attacked or anybody wanted to beat me up or anything. I mean, there's people I wanted to beat the shit out of, but I showed restraint.
I now want to be. I mean, I'm already like I'm working in law enforcement. It's changed me. Like
Mm-hmm.
I carry guns a lot. Well,
Right.
I only have one right now, but I'm gonna buy another one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also taking boxing and also trying to participate in Shotokan karate, black belt, and then also jujitsu, choke people out. The whole nine. So pretty much know everything in the book to basically rip souls from bodies, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, and then now, but you know what? After that, I said, you know what? I need to go to dispatch.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I work in dispatch now, so I can calm down a little bit,
Right. I
so
mean,
I can bring it down to about 10.
yeah.
Because working in corrections will have you just looking over your shoulder and waiting for that moment.
Oh yeah, of course. Like,
Waiting for that moment of like somebody just approaching you, like, oh, you didn't give me an extra biscuit during lunch or whatever. Fuck you.
I
Fuck
mean,
you in
I
your
think for
face.
me, I think my scrappy nature just comes from, growing up with brothers and very little female energy. So it was
Oh, I
like,
mean, everybody in my family liked to fight, so it was always in my
so
blood.
like we were always duking it out or doing some bullshit. Like even we would play fight with my dad and all that stuff and just like act a fool. Like I remember I remember the one time as a kid play fighting with my dad and I don't know, he pissed me off or something. So I made him think that he got me good with something and like he hurt me. I made him think that. And I legit laid there for a good, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, just like, I wouldn't say fake crying, but a little whimper action kind of situation until he finally checked on me and then I wailed on him. I sucker punched his ass. I'm like, try me again.
Right?
But like, that was always like the nature. Like, my brothers and I, like, we'd go at it. Like, my older brother, like, I swear to God, there was something in that head that would like just switch, and he just act like a little psycho sometimes. So I had to go put him in his place.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
I
Sometimes.
think that's just a, but I think that's like that's a northern girl kind of like mentality. You from Philly, so so you have that scrappy nature just because you come from the city of Rocky Balboa.
I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, it depends. I guess it's like a matter of like
you
how you're
you know the
raised
funny
and,
thing is,
huh?
you know the funny thing is,
What?
and this is gonna blow your mind.
Oh God, here we go.
You're Tory.
Oh fuck you! I am nothing like Tori.
You are a little bit of a
No,
Tory.
no, 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 no.
You have
Cause,
that scrappy nature. Okay, you have that
uh
scrappy nature.
huh,
Very beautiful.
uh
But you can't be a damsel in distress at times too. It's like, oh god,
yeah,
fuck
fuck
you.
you. No, 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 no. The thing is, the difference between me and Tori is I don't attack people that don't fucking deserve it because I'm being a little bitch that day,
Well, I
okay?
didn't say from that aspect, but you have the characteristics. You kind of have that like
But that can be said about
that
any
badass
character.
mentality. Yeah, that badass mentality. You don't come from the same like, oh, you little
Oh, fuck
damsel,
that.
little tushy tushy princess over here now. I see the world for what it is, and now I want to like get mean with it. Like, welcome to the. That was one thing I said about Sam when I was watching Cobra Kai. I said, Sam,
Mm-hmm.
welcome to the real world, sweetheart. Okay, it ain't Miyagi doing this, bitch. It's Cobra Kai. Okay,
Right. Corey says,
it
I
is
lost track
Cobra
of the
Kai.
conversation. I got invaded by siblings. We were talking about martial arts and fighting and being scrappy and
And then I
wooden
called her
swords.
Tori
Yeah, he just called me Tori.
to an extent,
To an extent, yeah.
in certain aspects.
I don't.
Yeah, you don't.
I guess I can understand, but
Now
like that could be said
GTA,
about
now
anything.
GTA, you GTA and Call of Duty, you are Tori 100%.
No, in those games,
We
I'm a ruthless fucking killer. Like straight up, you fuck with my money, you fuck
yeah.
with my friends, you fuck with my brother. If my brother's actually playing, I will kick your ass. I don't care what it takes. I don't
Oh
care
yeah.
how much money it takes. I'm taking you out. Straight up.
She said, "Look, yeah, yeah, and I'm also freaking I'm crease. All right, no mercy. Okay, like
Like,
I'm
okay,
no mercy over here. God damn it.
look how many times, anytime we
Never
had
let
our
up.
crew together and someone started a fight with somebody and they couldn't handle it, we were right there. Boom, boom, boom. And then you fuck with me and you fuck with my shit. You know what? I was gonna let you go.
Now you gotta die,
I gotta
bitch.
teach you a level. You know, I gotta teach that
Now
lesson. I don't care what level you are,
now I
you gotta
got to
learn.
cut you.
You know what I'm saying?
Now I got now I got to cut you.
Damn straight.
I got to get the slicing. Nah, but yeah, but other than that, like yeah, I
Mhm.
love that show. I can't wait for season 5.
Yeah.
Definitely
Corey says I
can't
can't
wait for
imagine
season 5.
fighting you with my siblings, at least not physically, because I'm 300 pound and they're between 11 and 5. Oof.
They still can get to work, but
I
if
mean,
I had to, if I
see, the thing
me
was
and
is
my sister started fighting. Me and my older sister started fighting at a young age. I'm like, oh yeah,
I mean that's the
I ain't
thing.
little
It's
now,
like
motherfucker.
that. Well, and then with my family, okay, so let me explain this. Me and my siblings, okay, my core group of siblings. Let's put it this way. My older brother is a year
Hmm.
older. I have a younger brother that's a year younger, so we're not that far apart. And then I have an older half brother who's like four. No, he'd be like 15 or 16 years older than me, something like that. So like we never scrapped with him because obviously he was older and shit like that, but he had his own bullshit. Um, but when it came to me and my like core like full siblings, like we were always we were always at it. Like I was more of the neutral, like don't fuck with me and I won't fuck with you kind of type. So when my older brother would start being a fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for no fucking reason, and
Hmm.
wanted to come at me, I'd give it to him. I'd give him the work. I don't care. And then I'd get yelled at it. But that was Mama Bear. She'd yell at my ass. I'm like, I don't care. He
I
deserves it. I'm not
like
gonna let him hit me. Fuck.
I got once I got older, all the people who like tried to establish dominance on me, like once I had got to
Hmm.
that age
Yeah.
where I got tired of getting picked on by everybody, I had
Hmm.
like that moment of just like I snapped. For a little bit, I was just on a rampage as a teenager. I was just like, you know what?
Now, to be
Fuck
fair,
everybody. Okay.
I will say this
This is
about my
around the time my
brother.
mom went to prison. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
I,
think I did have that asshole moment actually.
yeah. Well, I think we all kind of go through a certain weird phase of. I mean, we all have
I'm just glad I didn't
degrees
take
of
karate then.
assholeness.
If I took karate and boxing back when I was young,
That would not have
oh,
been good.
I would have hurt some people. Whoever really am.
Corey
I'm gonna
says, I think
start
there's a
calling you
difference
up.
because all I do have siblings that are around my age, but fighting was not something we did internally, not
Oh
physically,
yeah.
but even physical play fighting. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say we fought all the time. I mean, there'd be like the random moments where it would happen, and then there would be like, the play fighting, obviously. Uh, there was some other bullshit like growing up. Like, okay, I hear stories from Mama Bear about how my older brother's name is George. It'll be just easier to talk by their names. So I have an older brother named George or Georgie, and then I have a little brother named Brandon. Okay. Now, when we first came along, Georgie was basically living the solo dolo life. Okay. He was like, getting spoiled. He was, living the dream. And so when I came along, he was not fond of me coming home from the hospital. He was like, what the fuck is this thing? And why is it here? And when is it going back? You know what I mean? But eventually, he was okay with me. He didn't like me sitting next to Mama Bear. He didn't like that. He was like, nope, nope, you're mine. She can't have you. Leave be. So he eventually got used to me. Then when he got used to me, another one comes along, and that's when Brandon came along, and he was really not happy about that one. He's like, I did not give you permission to bring this home. Like, why is he here? Didn't want him sitting on the couch next to Mama Bear and him. Nothing. He legit pulled him off the couch. He was like, nope.
Mm.
And she was like, why'd you do that? It's like, you're mine. I don't want him here. He was like, he was over it. But like, he did.
Like,
My brother did do something sweet at one point, and then I'll tell you something where he wasn't that so sweet. As we were where my parents had their house, my nana lived right next door, and all that jazz. That was a nightmare. Anyways, we would play out front, making mud pies or doing whatever. And we were outside playing, and we were being watched, obviously, because we were super young at the time. And there was this neighborhood kid who was much older, but he thought it was a good idea to pick on me. And he pushed me and made me cry. And my brother, George, or Georgie, being kind of a runt for his age, went over, pushed the kid, made him cry, and said, don't touch my sister. And apparently, Mama Bear's heart swelled with pride, and she's like, that's my boy.
that's my boy.
It's like he actually likes her. It's beautiful.
I
Nowadays,
scared my mother at one point. I
right?
scared my mother at one point because, like, even now I kind of scared her because she like, you remind me of my goddamn self. I say, yeah. Like, like now when I talk now, I'm just like, no, no mercy, fuck everybody. And she like I think for a moment she was like, that's my son,
All right.
yeah.
All right, let me see what chat says. Corey says there was this one time my eldest brother wanted to use me as a wrestling partner because I was the only person in his weight class, but he accidentally said, was it sat or said to my head, oh, sent your head through a window. I have a bald patch on the back of my head. Oof, that was never done again. My older brother was the same way, but he got stuck with two siblings instead of one. I have a twin brother. Wow. But my brother mellowed out a bit more after becoming friends with the elderly next door. Okay, cool. He became a pseudo grandfather for just about all of us. That's dope. Yeah, like there's another story about Georgie. Once again, they were with Mama Bear at her place, and Mama Bear was like, "Why is it so quiet?" And so she goes to check on the boys, and she goes in and she sees Georgie just sitting there playing or watching something or doing whatever he's doing in their room. And she's like, "Where's Brandon?" And he's like, "I don't know." And she hears something, and it's coming from the toy box. Yeah, he put Brandon in the toy box. And she's like,
Mm.
Georgie, what'd you do that for? No, he's being bad. He deserves to be in there. Leave him in there. I'm like, oh my god. But like as we got older, obviously, like that all changed. Like nowadays, if anyone were to touch them, well, even back then, I'm gonna come for you. I will come for you. And I will
I
make you
will
pay.
do.
And it's the same with him. Is like if anything or anyone tries to do anything to me, doesn't matter if that motherfucker is a runt or not, he will ruin you. Like he will find a way.
Fuck,
You
you
don't
mess with me,
and I love that. I love that our
and your nuts are mine.
our bond has grown and that even with everything that goes on with him, that he has that love and passion to protect his family. And that just overjoys my heart. Let's see. Corey says, let's be honest, it's fun telling the embarrassing stories when they're not here. Yeah, it's true. Stories about ourselves. Yeah. Um, I mean, there's just random shit that we used to do over the years, and it's just like, it was a different time. Like, honestly, we could get away with the shit that we did back then. Nowadays,
There's different times.
well, even like towards the ending of my school career, like, even like when I was in middle school, they started getting a little soft, if you will. So if you showed up with a
These
bruise,
kids nowadays,
le-
these kids nowadays are just fucking soft as wet
legit,
babies and shit.
if you showed up with a little bruise on your arm, they question you for days about it. And they're like, what's that bruise from? Did your parents hit you? Did this happen?
You want?
Like,
Do you want one, bitch? All right, shit. Leave
bitch,
your
I'll knock the fuck
motherfucking
you out.
business.
Like,
Shit.
shit. If I was
Shit.
getting my ass beat, you would fucking know if I was getting my ass beat. No, it's called being a kid and going outside and getting knocked around and just like having a good time. Shit.
Like yeah, because we were talking about me and my running partners, like my like running partner. We go to the like park and stuff like that. We were talking about that. Like nowadays, kids don't have a reason to go outside. There's no reason. They have everything. Like hell, I don't even go outside like that no more. I'm a grown man. Like, but I'm like, it's
I mean, I
you
do
don't need like,
feel.
especially now in the COVID era. Like,
Yeah.
you have everything you need. Entertainment at the tip of your finger.
All right, Corey says, I actually wouldn't call the children of today soft. Brutal would be a lot more accurate. I mean, it really depends. Um,
Mm,
I would say a lot of the kids nowadays, even like young adults, are a bit too sensitive for the world today. I mean, things that flew in the 90s would not fly today, to be fair, or early 2000s for that matter. You know what I mean?
yeah, like just go back before 9/11. Like yeah, just in that time because we were all like old enough at that time.
Oh my
It was a
god.
different it was a different energy. Like I said, I like yeah, like just going outside, I would get damn near jumped every goddamn time. Like
Really?
like at age 10 or 11. Like
See, no, I didn't
yeah,
have to worry about getting jumped or anything. Like, legit.
it
Like,
was LA is different
yeah,
than
it's different. Like,
whole
your neighborhoods.
gang
Obviously,
culture. Yeah,
I didn't grow up in Philly, so that would have been a whole different thing. But I know how people work down in Philly, and I know, you know, the ins and
yeah,
outs. You
like
know
LA
what's
gang culture ain't no joke. Yeah, but like even nowadays, I mean, I get what Corey's saying though too. Like yeah, a lot of these kids are a little mouthy.
that's my problem.
Like
You get mouthy and you expect nothing to happen. That's what your problem is.
yeah, they don't like. I would say they don't respect the consequences of what can happen. That's what I would
Facts.
say.
That's true. Corey says
Like because
depends.
like
My sister, when she was in elementary, was being brutally bullied for not wearing makeup. Really? The same sister got forced
shit,
into a
shit.
relationship by her friends where their partner made fake suicide note for both of them. Wow. Okay, I
Yeah,
will say
see,
this. I wouldn't say I was necessarily bullied per se. I guess it was a form of bullying, but I was, depending on how brutal I wanted to be, I could have, yeah. Anyways, I went to a new school, and I'm trying not to give away locations around the area of where I've been or where I've lived and stuff like that. But I went to this new school, and this fucking town is just full of, ugh, it's a mixed bag of bullshit. Anyways, uh, and I had sat at like this table that was just kind of a mix of kids that were going to go on the bus after lunch to the tech school. And there was a table of rich bitch motherfuckers that were close by, and that they wanted to give me a makeover because my hair was so long and this and that. I'm like, go fuck yourself. All right? Like, you're jealous of my hair and all this shit. Go fuck yourself. I don't need your help, you ugly ass bitch.
bitches,
And when I
shit,
say ugly ass bitch, I'm not pertaining to their looks. It's just the overall personality.
whore
And
in them.
well, there's that. Um but no.
See, okay, I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break it down. Like, all right,
Mhm.
because this is how I can tell you there's a gap in generations. All right,
Okay.
so there's me and my academy class that's for like dispatch. All right, so we
Okay.
have literally every generation in our room.
Okay.
You got two millennials,
Yeah.
one Gen C, no,
Mhm.
two Gen Cs, and a Gen X.
Mhm.
So like the Gen X is one of my older where she's like in her early 40s, about 42, 44 in that
Mhm.
area. Two two
Mhm.
grown kids, everything. She's Generation X.
Yeah.
Me and another guy in there, we're both literally. He's like a year or two younger than me. Like about a year or two younger than me. Like he's just about to turn 30, and I'm turning 31 at the end of the year.
Mhm.
So like yeah, we're born. So we're both millennials right there. And then you
Yeah.
got another girl born in like '98, and
Yeah.
another one that was born in like 2002. Those are Gen Zs, Gen 6.
Mhm.
And the level of filter in that room is different. Because me and the other guy are like ruthless. We're millennials.
I can see
Like
that. I can understand. Yeah.
we will. we show emotion. Like we like it is what it is. You dumb, you dumb, you stupid, you stupid. Simple as that. And the other one,
Yeah.
she you can tell like she got a she knows where she's at in the setting of work, but she
Mhm.
is a total like total like Gen X person. Like on the underneath, she'll curse whole
Yeah.
nine. Like she's kind of a batch and the whole nine. Like such a beach girl.
Mhm.
And then like you got these two like Gen Z kids. Like they are so you can tell their feelings are a little bit like sensitive,
Mm.
especially one of them who is born in 2002, like
I
2002, like who's about like 19,
mhm.
19 going on 20.
Yeah.
She is really I every time you say something to her, even if you're complimenting her or like giving her like big ups, like coming up with cool words, you can tell she about to break out and cry at any motherfucking moment. I'm like, oh my god, you. I think that's what annoys me about that person because like they're just so fucking young. I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah, like I
you are like
totally
about to.
I can understand that. Like it is interesting when you are in a room full of people from different generations and
It's different. Because like I said,
their
like if you
process,
put a
yeah.
room full of millennials in the room, like everybody gonna be like just having a good ass time. Just because like we all got no motherfucking filter.
I mean,
Like
yeah,
there is no filter.
that is true. Like we came up in the day and age where you could not necessarily insult somebody, but like no one took it ever so seriously. At
It just
least,
depends on the insult. Like yeah, it
yeah.
depends on it. Like if you knew the person, like oh yeah, we can go at each other all day. But if I don't know you and I don't fuck with you, and you talking to me crazy, like what's up?
Well, and it's like when I
Like
talk
what
to
you want to
you,
do?
and I'm talking to you, and I'm like, you're stupid. Like I say it to a lot of people. Like I could be talking to you, I could talk to
You're
Neon, whoever, and
stupid.
I'd be like, you're fucking stupid. What are you talking about? Like,
And they be like, "Why you got me stupid?" Some people were
you're
like, "Why you got me stupid?" I didn't call you stupid. Never mind. I just let it go. I forgot. Like sometimes I forget who I'm talking to.
where,
Like I
and then
gotta remember the company of people I am talking to in that moment.
when you think about it, it's like you go to our parents' generation, and like they're even more savage. You know what I mean?
Because you gotta think of who we were raised by. Like a lot of them, like today's parents are younger.
So,
Like you know what I'm saying?
and
Like
that's
a
the
lot
thing.
of
Yeah. And like that's the thing. It's with our parents. It's like they didn't care if they hurt our fucking feelings. They really didn't.
nah, like our parents, like yeah,
They
like
will
back then,
insult
like
your
person.
fucking looks and be like, "Okay, what do you want for dinner?" And you're just like over here with an emotional damage, like, "Okay." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Don't
like
cry. Don't fucking cry. It's weakness. You know what I mean?
don't let them break you.
Mhm.
Like
Must
yeah,
maybe
I mean
spit out my water.
I've always been a sensitive hearted kid, and I was a sensitive
Mhm.
hearted kid. But like I said, the generation of people I came up with,
Yeah.
there was no like yeah like my uncles they was like they Gen X too, like they was cussing like the
Mhm.
whole nine, they just let it out, not like and that's the household I grew up in, like and a lot of nowadays like oh cussing for your kids and all this
And then I
like
feel like
what the fuck.
when you think about it, like even when we go back to our grandparents, I feel like depending on the setting and where your grandparents and everybody was from, like obviously my grandparents they're from up here up north. So, but like when I talked to my grandfather, I feel like there was really a bad bone in his body. Like he was never one to really insult somebody and never say anything that like really hurt anybody. But then again, it's all about how you were raised in that time. Like obviously a lot of people from back then could be like super racist and they didn't give a fuck what came out of their mouth, or they could be super sexist or whatever. So it's like interesting to see how everything evolved, if you will, and like has changed over time.
I'm
Um
just gonna fucking say it.
okay.
Today's parents are fucking pussies. It is just a simple fact.
I mean,
Like the younger parents, they are fucking pussies.
I
Like they
well,
are like it just
and I also think that's also an issue with the government itself and planning itself and how you discipline your own children. You know what I mean?
it's like yeah, like there is like yeah, like I hearing how other people would discipline their kids. Like I'm like,
Hmm.
and then what I mean by discipline, I don't mean just haul out whooping the fuck out of them
Right.
depending on the situation.
Right.
But I am old school. I'm not gonna allow my kids to talk to me a certain kind of way.
Right.
And I'm not gonna allow like yeah, I'm gonna let them know there is a huge line in this motherfucking sand.
Okay.
Like yeah, we're I love you. We can have what I'm saying we can have a good time. We can but just remember who the hell I am. I'm your daddy,
Facts.
not your best friend. not the whole nine. Like, yeah, you're not getting away saying certain shit, and some parents will allow their kids to get away with certain shit.
With you, I see
Like
what
no,
you're saying.
rip
It's
that.
like it's having that healthy balance. You know what I mean? Like you don't
Yeah,
want them necessarily to fear you in the event that they need to tell you something important that could ultimately impact, their safety or whatever.
yeah.
But you also
But
don't want them to
fear,
walk
like
all over you.
fear me in the aspect that you know who the fuck I am and what I can do. Like I'm your daddy,
Yeah.
okay? I'm not little Judy and little Jody in the classroom.
All right.
No, no.
All right.
I
Let
didn't grow
me
up in that kind of household.
let me
I
get
knew who my mother
Corey.
was, and I knew what she was capable
Right.
of.
All right, let me read Corey's things in chat real quick, and then we'll get back onto what we're saying. Corey says,
Okay.
I feel bad for the kids today, mostly because they're smart enough to realize the world's fucked up, and the world still wants to treat them all like idiots. That's true. I think the world
True.
itself just
Yeah.
babies these kids and thinks that they don't know better. You know what I mean?
Right.
She.
Like, pat them on the head and send them on their way and all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. And then when shit get real, they want to wonder why they're doing it. Like, because you
Yeah.
didn't nip this shit in the bud from the
Um,
jump.
she also says, I think most parents of today don't know proper discipline that makes because they were only raised with physical discipline techniques. That's true.
Okay.
Respect. Most parents don't know how to teach their kids how to respect them. And
True.
if a kid doesn't learn how to respect the parents or any sort of authority, what do you get? That's true. Um, I
There
think
has to be a line in the sand. You have
there
to
has to,
establish that from day one.
eh,
Don't let it go on for so long and then try to stop
and then
it
you're
when
trying
it's
to
already
fix it
going.
when they're in their teen years, and then you can't do shit about it. You know what I mean? It's
No,
already too
because
late.
by that point they're full on young adults at that point. They
I
don't have no respect for you.
oh yeah, I 100% agree. Like I think a big issue is yes, when our grandparents were getting raised or when they were raising our parents or whatever, back then you could beat your child senseless. Like you could. And I don't condone that at all. I get it. When it came to our generation,
They're like, yeah,
they
yeah,
started
like
introducing CPS, so Child Protective Services. And then they would
yes.
stick their noses way too far into business that had nothing to do with them. So even if
They would break up families that didn't necessarily need to break up.
exactly.
Like some of the boomers would
Mhm.
haul out, just fuck their kids up.
Oh hell yeah.
You know,
But that's
you
the
know
thing
what I'm saying? Like
is
child abuse didn't exist then. Like there was
exactly.
no such thing.
But then you went to this extreme where you're policing these parents that they cannot touch their kid at all or discipline their kid at all or do anything without the threat of you taking their kids and putting a blemish on their record and saying, "Oh, they're harmful to children," or they're, you know what I mean, keeping them from working in whatever
Right.
field. I think CPS or children youth, whatever the fuck they call them in your neck of the woods, um,
I think about the same. Yeah,
they
something like
would
that. Yeah.
well they always call it different things. But what
Yeah.
they would break up families that didn't need to be broke up, and they wouldn't go after the ones that were really abusing their children or not taking care of their children
Because
properly.
the ones who are really abusing their children know how to cloak that shit up. Like they
Yeah.
know how to make it look like it's
Um,
not going on.
and that's the thing. It's like as the years went on, it came to the point where okay, you can physically discipline your children as long as we don't see the marks. So you could swat them on the butt, whatever. As long as we don't see the marks, you're good. Then it came to the point of if we see a single bruise anywhere, doesn't even mean that you touched your kid, or you're saving your kid from getting hit by a car. Oh, that's child abuse.
See,
What?
that's it. Exactly. Like yeah, that right there trying to make every single thing like yeah, like they're
Yeah.
I get it. There's no direct way to like yeah, cause just in case they are. But
Yeah.
but at the same time it's like
Well,
there
uh,
has to be more physical evidence than that.
and then
There has to be like this
I also feel that then you have the nosy neighbors that stick their nose in a business that has nothing to do with them, and just because they don't like you, they will call CPS on you and
they'll call
claim
the cops.
whatever.
Yeah, they'll call
Oh,
the
your
cops,
kids are
CPS,
playing
the whole
outside in
nine.
the yard where you could technically see them out through the door. Oh, that's child abuse. Like the fuck?
Oh, child neglect. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It makes no sense. It really doesn't. And when it comes down to it, I think even nowadays, it's like your child could call CPS on you just because you took their phone away and like act like you're
But
this abusive piece of shit, and that's not the case. So it's like
mm,
I think parents nowadays are too afraid to actually discipline their children, whether it's physical or not, because there's always that threat that,
Oh,
oh, that you could call, and then I'm being watched like a hawk for the rest of my life, pretty much. You know what I mean? So
well, I
it's
guess
like,
they gonna mark me unfit because before the motherfuckers come up in there, my kid gonna learn. They gonna learn a lesson or two. Like yeah, like fuck all that. Like I'm like, oh,
I mean, to an
so you
extent,
want to call DPS because I took your phone away? Okay, well you.
but like
Let's hope they get to you.
I remember shit as a kid. Like, did I ever get beat senseless? No, thank God. Like, you know what I mean? I got beat for no reason sometimes, and it wasn't my parents doing it, so there was that. But like, I remember watching my aunt and uncle discipline my cousins. And obviously, they never touched my one cousin, which I thought was interesting. Maybe it's because she was a girl, but whatever. But
Know what they trying to say about you?
well,
That's funny.
no, my aunt made sure she whooped my ass. I'll say that. I got
And she
punished
said,
for some.
"Fuck that! I didn't
No, no,
get that
no, no, no.
protection."
I will even
Shit.
say that I didn't get no damn protection. My aunt beat my ass for shit her kids were doing. So there was that.
Right.
No, but they would take my cousin, um, and like legit, I don't know. He mouthed off the one time. I don't even know what he did. And they put soap in his mouth. They did that whole thing. You could hear him upstairs in the bathroom. There was one point where my uncle had like dragged him bare assed across the floor or some shit. It was some
Mm-hmm.
brutal times, dude. Like nobody gave a shit. uh,
Oh no, no, for real. Like it's yeah, like that. Yeah, Generation X going into
yeah.
Millennial Y2K. Like yeah, like
Mhm.
it's it was different back in our era. It was like
Mhm.
there is like yeah, I didn't get a whole lot of ass whooping because when I
Mm.
was a kid because as I wasn't a behavioral problem, so
Right.
I didn't receive a lot of ass whoopings because I didn't do nothing to get one. Now,
Right.
as for my older sister, she
Different story.
she was treading some lines. Like I was
All
even talking
right.
to my mother about that. I said, like she said, like my mom asked me, like, was I a bad mother to you or anything like that? And I said, no. Like I mean, was it rough a lot of times? Yeah. Like it's, but I
Well,
can't
that's
say yeah, you took care of me, you fed me, you clothed me.
and
Like
that's
I
what
like yeah, I
matters. Yeah.
wasn't like I didn't have any complaints as a child.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing.
Like
It's
you
like,
know,
yeah, could have been better at the time, sure, but like, at least I had a roof over my head, food in my stomach, clothes on my back, and that's what mattered. You know what
regardless
I
of
mean?
roof or not, even when we were home, yeah, even in my situation, even when we were homeless, whatever
Mhm.
like that, she always made sure we was well taken care of, even if she had to risk her freedom to get us food. She
Right.
did. So I didn't have any problems because I was well taken care of. As for me, my plate was full in a lot of
Mhm.
aspects, so I don't have any complaints. My
Mhm.
older sister does.
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of the tension comes from,
Yeah.
like between her and my older sister. So I'm
Right.
like, speaking from the outside point of view, like knowing who my older sister was when she was coming up, when she was a teenager, she was a little bit of a little bitch, and she
Facts.
knows
Yeah.
it. Like she even know it. Like she like some of those ass whoopings she got, she deserves.
Yeah,
Some were
exactly.
like okay, like could have went a little different. Like yeah, like it's but most of them, like sneaking girls in the house at all hours of the night,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? Like at age freaking 13, 14 years old, like
Mm.
having sex in my mom's bedroom and shit, like, doing shit like that. Like while me and my friend is having a sleepover and shit like that.
Mhm.
Like not knowing, and then finding out these girls was like badder than bad, hitting niggas in the head with hammers and shit and
Right.
robbing them. Like,
You're
you know
allowing
what I'm
that into
saying?
your
Like,
home. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like,
All
some
right.
shit warranted, other shit maybe not as much. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But like, but there's no perfect way to parent,
Yeah.
and that's what a lot of people meant. There is no perfect formula. There is no formula to say this is the best way to do it. No. Like, the idea is to basically let your kids know that yeah, I'm your parent. That is the formula. You need to let them know that you are their parent, and
Right.
if you don't like my rules, you can go somewhere else. I'm gonna show my kids options. I'm like, okay, you want to get disrespectful? I'm gonna show you where disrespectful kids go. Jail, foster home, and anywhere else
Mhm.
under other than my roof. So I'm not gonna have to physically discipline them as much. Will I do it if I have to? Yes. but
Right. All
but
right.
as they get older, the line of punishment will
It
change.
changes.
When
Yeah.
they're little,
Well,
when
and
they're
that's the,
little,
that's the
they
thing.
get a
It's
spanking or timeout or something.
see. Okay, when we were kids, and I'll read your stuff in a minute, Corey. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, go read it real quick. Read it
Okay,
real quick.
I'll read
I think
Corey's
you
before
got
I
it.
get into
Go
my thing. Okay, Corey says, I think CPS has a weird dichotomy of not having enough power to break up people who are actually abusive, but not having the authority to stop people from breaking up the families that just need help. That's true. My mom just learned spanking was ineffective, like seriously ineffective. Just about everyone in my family has been pretty gnarly pain tolerance. That's true. That is, yeah, I agree with that.
It's
Each
like
kid
yeah,
is
it has like
unique.
yeah. I'm not
Go on.
yeah, and I'm not gonna like yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, okay. Each kid is unique. Each way of parenting must reflect the parenting of each kid will be different from child to child. That is true. I should vaguely know I have raised most of my siblings. I've got 12 after all, half raised. It's awesome. Good for you, Corey.
I hell yeah, for real. You know what
um,
I'm saying? Like yeah, like
yeah, like for me, punishments over the years, like depending on who I was with, obviously. So if it was Mama Bear, aka Brenda, um, when we were little, now I learned quickly. The boys did not learn quickly. Okay, they would do stupid shit and get themselves in trouble.
you know
Okay,
so pretty much.
so if we didn't listen, toys were out, whatever. She would grab up the toys, put them in a trash bag, and say she was going to throw them out. It is what it is. Another punishment was us standing in the corner. Yeah, didn't like that one, didn't do that again. My brothers did not learn. And then when they started fidgeting in the corner and like trying to touch things and do all that, they had to stand with their hands behind their back. I learned quickly. I wasn't fucking with that shit.
Right.
um, when it came to when I was staying with my aunt, her resolution for things was beating you, just beating you. It was what it was. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So I would get punished for things my cousins would do or wouldn't do. And that's just how it was. Now, when it came to the pain tolerance thing, at one point, I was just like, I'm going to laugh in her face when she does it. And that's exactly what she had. She came to my room. She came to beat me. She went to beat me. And while she was beating me, I started laughing. And then she never beat me again after that. Then again,
Mm-hmm.
after that, I was out of
Because she
there.
like
So it
this.
was all good. When it came to
Yeah, like
like and then if you think about it, like your parents parenting style, like when it came to my dad was very lax on parenting. He never really did the parenting thing, you know what I mean? Like he can huff and puff all he
right.
fucking wants, raise his voice, it wasn't a thing. My grandfather on the other hand, you feared God, okay? Like that was the thing. Like I knew how he was raising his kids. He mellowed out when he got grandchildren, but like I knew not to fuck with him and push his buttons. If he asked you to do something, you did it, and that was that.
But that's just genuine. That's genuine
And
respect.
that's
See that,
respect.
that,
Yes,
and you
that's true.
just broke. And you just broke. You broke down the cycle right there. Even though, like, yeah, you
Hmm.
broke down the cycle. Some parents don't establish that. Like, your dad didn't necessarily. He didn't get like he
Hmm.
didn't establish anything with like necessarily trying to hunt and grunt his own way. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He knew like it was limited. Like what he can.
Yes.
You know, like I
I
guess he
mean, the
knew it was
attempt
like
at a
some
3 day,
limited.
the attempt at a 3 day grounding because I went out on a street that he didn't want me to out on. You know, I pushed the limits still, but I abided by the rules. Okay, I didn't go outside and
But you
just
knew,
open the
yeah.
door
But
and suck my
in
legs
some
out.
aspect,
Yes.
exactly, but
Hmm.
exactly, and you knew what you can get away with, what you get away with. Like yeah,
Yeah.
like with some parents, like they don't know how to close that door
Yes.
on some. Like yeah, if you're the only parent, you gotta close the door. You gotta establish that like
Oh, right. Right. I.
it's a certain kind of fear you have to install in your kids. Like
It's the
fucking
level of fear, but it's also a level of
like
respect.
yeah,
So.
like the respect is where it comes at. Like I know I'm a big bear looking motherfucker. Like
Hmm.
I'm a damn near 6 foot tall, 300 pound man.
Yeah.
Like my mama is a 5 foot 100 pound woman.
Hmm.
Like yes, in the aspect of realism, I can overpower her,
Yes.
but I don't because I fear. Well, because I know what she can do.
Damn straight.
And you know
Look.
what I'm
Look. Look.
saying?
Look.
Like there's a respect and fear there. Like I'm like no.
And
Like
exactly.
even as a and people look at me like you talking to that big man like that? Like
Mm-mm.
you going at him like everybody look at like
It's like y'all don't
this
know
little
her. Shit.
like you don't know her. Shut up.
And that's the thing. It's like even like with my grandfather, like yeah, there was a level of respect there, but like even when he became handicapped from his stroke, um, even after that, where he was mainly restricted to a wheelchair or a walker, I still feared the shit out of that man. Like I knew if he wanted to get to me, he was gonna get me. So I always watched what I was doing, always watched my mouth, and never was I ever disrespectful towards him. Never in my life would I ever do that. I love that man to pieces. Okay.
And same thing, like with my grandmother, like I just love I love my mom, I love my grandma,
Mm-hmm.
I love every, like yeah, I
Yeah.
love like there's a love there I have for my mom and grandmother, and then like my
Mm-hmm.
grandmother, I have so much love for. I wouldn't disrespect her. If she
Right.
said I was grounded, I was grounded. Simple as that.
And that's the
You know what
thing.
I'm saying? I would try to
Exactly.
talk my way out of it.
True.
I was trying to talk my
But
way
that's the
out
thing.
of
It's
it, but
like even when I got older, it's like then I could say more, right? I could run my mouth. And then you obviously as you get older, you start cursing and stuff like that. So I could run my mouth and be all bark, but I just wouldn't bite, and that was the thing. And the thing is like our family, our tempers vary, so it can get explosive a little bit. But it's like we all knew there was a line, right? And then there was a respect level to it all. But I knew not to push a certain button or cross a certain line, and that was that.
I mean, now I'm a grown man. Like if I get disrespectful with somebody, they don't
Mm-hmm.
have to talk to me. They don't have
Exactly.
to. Like, you know what I'm saying?
If you don't
Like
want to
yeah,
talk to
like
me,
you
fuck
know what?
you.
I'm gonna let you cool.
I'm good.
Like
Shit.
yeah,
And that's the thing.
you
It's
know,
like
like
I can tell when, especially in my family, when people are getting heated and like they're boiling over, and like I know how I get because with me, I tend to push down emotions and I let it pile up and pile up and pile up until I've just had a fucking enough and I explode. It's like a pressure cooker in a sense, like
right.
a pressure pot. That shit's gonna explode eventually. So it's like you watch your p's and q's and watch how you're treating me before it boils over. You know what I mean? Or it
Right.
finally pops.
See, like yeah, but every kid, like yeah, me and my sibling,
Mm-hmm.
the line of discipline had to be different. Like yeah,
Yes.
like I am a young boy. You know what I'm saying? A
Mm-hmm.
very sensitive boy.
Yes.
Like at the time is my upbringing.
Uh huh.
So it's like yeah, like there's a you it was a way you have to
There's
parent this kid, and then there's a
yes,
way you have to parent this one over here.
and I
Like
totally.
yeah, this other one thinks she's a grown adult
Mm-hmm.
before she was out of diapers, and this one is just a laid back kid who don't
Yeah,
really
and
cause many problems.
that's the thing. It's like your sister was more headstrong, more hard headed,
yeah, pretty
and
much
wanted to do whatever she
hard
wanted.
headed,
She was
headstrong.
she was very bold in what she was doing, whereas you're like the sensitive, more easy, chill kid to deal with. And like
Right. I'm not gonna go outside of the what you
there's
call the the pack. I'm not
yes,
gonna go
yes,
outside the pack. Whatever
you're
the
not going to
rules
test
are,
those
I'm gonna
limits.
follow the rules.
Yes,
I'm
you're
not
not going
gonna test it.
to no. So that's the thing.
And I
It's like
told my mom that. I told my mom, say like between me and like my sister, like
mhm.
I'm the one who's not going to test
No.
the limits. I'm not gonna push the motherfucking envelope. Like
No.
I'm not gonna do anything that's gonna like fuck up what I got going on.
Oh,
Like
right.
I got it
Right.
easy. You know
And
what
that's
I'm saying? Like, I
it's
got it
funny
easy.
when you're saying that. Like I even look back to how me and my brothers were raised very differently. Now, granted, do I think my brothers are spoiled compared to me? Yes, 100%. They have favoritism. I'm
Oh,
not going to deny that. They might, Mama Bear might deny that shit. I
oh,
100%
I wouldn't.
believe,
I'm not gonna deny it.
bitch.
I
I
would
know.
100% say
I got receipts for that shit. But no,
man.
we were raised differently. Like, um, obviously, Georgie was kind of like the first born of our little bunch over here, like my dad's kids. So, he gets a little special treatment being the first one out, you know what I mean? Hey, whatever. And then I came
Mm-hmm.
along and okay, you're the girl, so you get a little bit of different treatment. And then when my brother Brandon came along, you're the youngest, you get treated differently. But the thing that divides me from the boys is my brothers have disabilities. So the
Right.
way you have to deal with them compared to me, you might have to be a little more
It's
soft
like,
with them.
bitch, you know better. You got all your mental cues. Like, yeah,
Exactly.
that's how they. That's how you like, little bitch. You got all your
And
mental
that's the
cues,
thing.
but you
It's
just
like
being a little motherfucker. That's how they look at
you
it.
have to teach them differently than you would have to teach me. And like obviously I was
Like,
quick at
yeah,
learning.
you were proving you
Now,
were the smartest one in the house. Like,
right,
even if they were all the way there, you were like,
right.
no, this one right here will be a problem regardless.
But
Like,
then
kind of thing.
you
Yeah.
couple that in with each kid's own trauma and whatever we went through back then, you have to then discipline them differently and communicate with them a bit differently to handle, putting them in the straight
See,
and narrow.
but I think there's a different way to discipline boys and girls. Like, see, like
Yes.
if I have boys, when I have kids, when I like when
Hmm.
I if I have boys, then I'm like, it's gonna be easy. to
I mean,
disappointment.
when it comes down to boys and girls, it's a lot of people believe that you have to be extra sensitive and soft with the girls, and that's not always the case. And then with the boys, a running
Depends on the
theme,
girl. Yeah, it
yeah.
depends.
And the thing with the boys is always the running theme is like you have to be tough with them and you have to, do all that, and that's not
You gotta
necessarily all
be
the
tough with
case.
them, but to an extent, because you might have one, you know, who's
That
a
is,
little bit more flamboyant. You know what
I
I'm
would
saying?
say
Like you might
flamboyant.
have
I would say more like on the emotional side. It might just be. I hate to keep saying sensitive, but like there are ones that are more in tune with their emotions, and that just things get
and
to
you
them a
gotta
little
like yeah, you
easier.
gotta like all right, I can't be as hard if I got a son named Brandon and I got a son named Jason.
Mhm.
Brandon might be the more sensitive one, so I have to put a little pressure on him to let him know
Uh,
like to get tougher, but I have to take my foot off the gas a little bit. With Jason, I might just like nah, I'm gonna be on your head, boy, like the whole way, and he gonna take it, and he gonna you know what I'm saying, and he gonna be like that's my dad. He's trying to mold me into a motherfucking
and
diamond.
that's
You know what
the
I'm
thing is,
saying?
it comes down to you won't know until you're in that situation to actually raise that child.
You have to assess. Yeah, you have to assess the situation with your
Because
kids. You have to assess. Yeah,
exactly,
you know.
and you could be saying, yeah, I'm going to be tough with my boys now and da 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 da, but then when it comes down to it, when you have a boy, it's like that could all change. You don't know.
I have a friend. I have a
Mhm.
friend that I work with.
Mhm.
She has two kids. She
Yes.
got a little the boy and a girl. The girl's older,
Mhm.
and the boy like he he's two. Yeah.
Mhm.
So and just seeing the difference on how like she talks to both of them like but she know her babies.
Mhm.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like yeah, like the other
You
one, the
you
older
learn their
one,
personalities. Yeah.
she'll test it a little bit. You know, she'll test it a little bit. Like when she around company, she'll show out a
Mhm.
little bit more. You know what I'm saying? The whole nine. The
Yep.
little boy, he's terrible. He's terrible too. So he gonna do something bad and look at you and smile. But this is the part where you gotta like
You have to
like. But
correct the
when she put him
behavior.
in
Yeah.
timeout, but like that's his mommy. Like when she put him in timeout, she said, "I'm putting you in timeout." Like the whole nine. Like that's his punishment. He'll sit there until
Well,
she say get up.
and that's where some people get soft with the punishment for kids that age because it's like you think everything that they're doing is super cute and like, you know, oh, they don't mean to do that. Okay, we can let it go this time. And then that just doesn't help in the
Terrible
long run.
twos, even though it's the terrible twos, you want them to stop, but this is where you got to put that pressure down
Right.
a little bit. Like, but there's like yeah, everybody's kids is different. She has some of the sweetest kids on the planet. I
Mhm.
love them. I wish they were mine. You know
And
what I'm saying? Like,
and that's the thing. It's
like I wish.
like when we were that young, like me and my brothers being only a year apart, like everyone was so surprised when they saw Brenda with us and they're like, "Oh, they're so well behaved. I didn't know you had kids up there. Like they're so quiet." Da 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 da. And it's like, yeah, because they were taught not to be like animals. Like they know right and wrong.
And
They
me and my
know when
sister
to be
was like that.
quiet.
Me and my like in front of me and my sister were like that in front of everybody else. We were like the model children.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we would not act up. We would not do nothing. Especially
Mm-mm.
we were told if we act up, we getting fucked up.
Yeah.
Simple.
And that's the thing. It's like
And we knew.
we knew better. And the thing is, it's like yeah, Brenda was more of a softer woman and like a little more gentle with us, but like her mother was there. So grandmama, like our grandmother was there and she was the loud one and like she didn't take shit from nobody. And
Off
if
of
you were acting a
nobody.
fool, you were going to hear her yell and like us being sensitive kids, you don't want to hear that. Like I was terrified of my grandmother for the longest fucking time cuz she was the loud woman. Like she was aggressive. And I was like I would hide behind like
My
everybody.
grandmother, my grandma was crazy. Like my grandma was crazy. Like, 'cause she was like in
Yeah.
front of me and my sister, she was like, you know, grandma, perfect, nothing can go wrong, the whole
Mhm.
nine. And my like her kids would laugh every time. We like grandma's the best. She's so nice. I don't think she's
It's
ever
like
been
you
a
don't know
mean person.
grandma. Fuck.
You don't know grandma. Grandma used to whoop ass. Like, but
Right.
I like yeah, and the one time I did get a whooping, my grandma was like, "Oh, I didn't want to hurt my grandbaby." I bought him. She
Right.
bought me a little car, the whole nine. She
Mhm.
spoiled the shit out of me.
Yeah.
She like, and all her kids, my mom and her sons was looking at like, wait a minute, this little motherfucker get a reward? What the fuck?
Well, that's the
Some
thing.
bullshit.
I think that's what my dad had a problem with. I'm not necessarily that we would get bought things, but like when it comes to my pop pop, my grandfather, which is my dad's dad, my pop pop, when he was raising his kids, yeah, he was a bit harder on them. Like you know, he was all about keeping his kids safe. He didn't like drugs being in the house, anything like that. Like my aunts would sneak weed in, and my dad was a bit of a narc on that shit. But
Mm-hmm.
then again, they kind of deserved it because they were assholes to my dad. So my dad
Absolutely.
would rat him out, and they would hear it.
Fuck you.
Um,
Yeah.
so my grandfather ran a tight ship in that sense, and he being a military man and all that, and dealing with PTSD and all that stuff, you just didn't mess with him, and he was religious and all that. And then when he joined, the church, he stopped smoking and drinking, and then he became a little softer. But then I think once grandkids start coming into the picture, he got a little softer and softer.
Yeah, like when you're a grandfather, yeah, your goal is
Yeah.
not to be. I
So
mean, these are not your kids.
that's
Like
true.
they're not like yeah, even though like they're not your kids, they're
It's
your
not your
kids,
job.
but they're not your kids.
It's the thing. It's like it's your job to raise them, but not to raise them. So you're still supposed to guide
It's
them, but
like
it's not supposed to be your sole duty. But I think in a sense it did become
because
my
I've already
grandfather's sole
raised
duty.
these motherfuckers over here,
Right.
and they now it's their time to learn.
And that's the thing. It's like my dad. I think they would get beat, and not even beat hard, but like they would get beat. You know how it was back in the day. But like there was a tight ship, and then when we came
You don't
along,
get a
he.
GPS over here,
That's the thing.
goddamn it,
It's
saying
like my
beats and shit.
grandfather never put a hand on me, ever. He never put a hand on me or my brothers. But we knew with his stern, like when he'd start talking, you listened. Now, did that
My
man?
grandma knew when it was time to turn on the mom hat too. She knew when it was time. She was like,
Now,
"Oh, so you think I won't whoop your ass?"
would that man buy you something? Sure. Did you ever like if you needed something, he'd get it for you. If you asked for something, maybe he'd get it for you. It wasn't a guarantee you were getting shit from him. You know what I mean? So it was like you weren't getting spoiled, and he wasn't trying to
Nah,
spoil nobody. Um, but like,
I call it the complimentary ass whooping aftermath of ass whooping gift.
all
So
right,
it's like grandpa had to put hands on you, baby.
mm-hmm.
I still love you, but I had to
Yeah,
put
like
hands on you, just
I,
so you know.
I,
God
ne-
forgives.
and that's the one thing I never got touched by any of my grandparents. Like, granted, I didn't know most of them, that well, but like my other grandfather didn't really have a relationship with him. My nana, who was his wife, um, she died in like the late '90s, so I didn't really have a great, long relationship with her. Yeah,
Right.
did I adore her? But then when I learned shit after the fact, it was like, oh, not great parenting on your
Oh,
part. Um,
right. You know what I'm saying? Like shit. Yeah. Shit.
um, my mother is a great example of that one. But then
Right.
there's other
Yeah.
things that I found out about her that I'm like, oh my god, terrible mother. But do I still love her? Of course, because that's blood. But it's a level thing of
It's
love at this
complicated.
point. And then when it comes to my dad's mother, my mom, I didn't have a relationship with her because she died like 10, 12 years before I was born. So it was like, you know, but
Fact.
like
You know.
seeing how like grandparents change over time and like they're so hard with their children, then all of a sudden they turn into a big softy and give you whatever the hell you want, or they feel bad after they do discipline you that they give you whatever you want. I was like,
They make their parents. They make their like. They make your parents mad as shit. Like,
yeah,
you didn't do this with me, motherfucker. You
yeah,
fucked me up. And then they look back. Well, I kind of maybe deserved it. Yeah, you think,
yeah. Like
motherfucker?
when it
Shit.
came to my
Shit.
my pop up, like I didn't need him to physically touch me to be scared, not scared of him, but to fear him in a level of like, okay, here's respect. I don't push this boundary. You know what I mean? But then again,
Exactly.
it's like that man put a roof over my head, clothes on my back, food in my stomach, and made sure I couldn't want for anything. You know what I mean? As long as he made sure all my needs were met, and that's what mattered. So it was like, boom.
Facts, yo.
And that's the thing.
Facts, yo. Well,
These
yeah.
kids today, they think they
That's.
deserve everything. They think they need the
They think they
smartphones
deserve
and
the
all this shit.
motherfucking
No, you
world.
don't. Go outside and play. Shit.
That's why I'm playing little
That's the
motherfucker.
thing. It's like
Shit.
my grandmother, the one that's dying of cancer right now. Um,
Alright.
they would push us outside in the fucking summer in like a heat wave.
Go outside before I put hands on you.
They're
Before
like,
you
go
let
outside,
this
go
guy
play
go in
outside. Your ass stayed outside for hours, okay? You don't come inside for nothing, all right? Until they call you for
Cause
lunch,
you know
for dinner, do not come
if
inside
you
that
come in
house.
that house, you come in
No.
that house before it's time, it is on and popping.
Mm-mm. All right, let's see what Corey says. Corey said, of the youngest is the cute. And he knows it. He runs circles around with that knowledge. Yeah. The, the young
Oh
ones, if
yeah.
they know they can get away with something, and because, yeah, they'll do it. They'll do it 110%. And then she said,
Oh yeah.
respect the consequences. Exactly. You reap what you sow. I'm.
Oh yeah.
I've done stupid shit.
It's like as the youngest in my
Uh huh.
family,
Mhm.
I can contest to this point. It is 100% true.
Yeah.
There are things that we can do,
Yes.
even we don't even know.
Yes.
There are things that we can do
Mhm.
that we will not get fucked up for. Unless yeah, there are some things. Well, yes, we
Uh
will
huh.
get punished on, but it's not gonna be your punishment as the older sibling. It's
Yeah.
not. It's just our punishment is gonna be a walk in the park, but it's gonna be horrible to us.
Yes.
Like taking my Xbox
Oh,
for
that
two
was
weeks.
that's a lifeline. I mean, yeah. If you think about it nowadays, like you
That
take
fucked me up.
consoles, you take
Like I
phones,
learned,
anything. Mhm.
I was in fear of getting my ass whooped. I was afraid of getting my shit took like away from me, like from
Yeah.
like elementary and up. I
Oh,
was like, oh,
and that's the
fuck,
thing.
she about
That's
to
the
take
thing.
my
It's
shit
like
again.
when I was a kid, like we didn't have all that, much of things like lavish lifestyle, whatever bullshit, you know. But if you took my ability to go outside and like run around and
My
play,
lifeline.
that was my
Yeah, like my
freedom.
lifeline.
And I would be like, I would be sad about it because it's like that FOMO, you're missing out. It's like, oh no, I want to be outside, I want to play, I want to do all this, like I want to run around the neighborhood with my friends, and da 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 da. So,
That's the worst kind of punishment, though. That's the
and
worst
that's the
kind of
thing.
punishment. It's like
When I got,
once you find out what your kids love the most,
mm-hmm,
like they don't know that that is part.
well,
That is a
and I
target.
think for my dad, I think it would be too hard for him to try to take away TV or any of that because
Because he
that's
watches it.
exactly. So like
He
being
watched it too. So
when I got grounded for those 3 days, I was not allowed outside. I was allowed to watch TV. I could go on the console, which we didn't have internet back then. You know what I mean? Because we poor and we cheap as fuck. Okay, and
mm,
it was a different time. Okay, so like you'd play offline on your Xbox or your PlayStation, whatever you had at the time, and that's what we did. So he didn't take that away. Then again, I wasn't gaming as crazily back then, so there's that. But outside was like it. That was your social event. That was like right after school. You were out that door. You know what I mean? And you stayed out until the lights came on. You know what I mean? You did not come home. Or
you
you,
ain't coming
you,
home
you
for
would try to
nothing.
be on your best behavior because when it came to the weekend, it was like, I want to go sleep over my friend's house or I want to go to the skating rink. You know what I mean? Like the skating rink back when we were kids was like the hot spot on Fridays and Saturdays.
Mm.
Okay. That's where we
Oh
went to hang
man.
out. Then it turned into the mall. You know what I mean? But that was the shit. I loved going skating. I was like, nope, I'm not missing out. I need that money to go to skating. Nope, we aren't fucking this up. But no, the only thing that ever got taken away from me was being outside. And
That was it. That was for you. That was your yeah. That was
and I
your
learned
lifeline.
quickly.
That was your way of entertainment. Yeah. See, I was a homebody, so taking away my Saturday night, Saturday morning cartoons, and
Mhm.
my ability to watch all my programmings that I normally like to watch, like
Yeah. Well, that's
that will look at you with the look of bitch. You
and,
have the audacity.
and that was the thing. It's like with my family, it's like TV, the media entertainment in that sense was a lifeline in the house. Like everyone needed it. So there was no way of just like blocking me out of a particular area. Not what you want me to sit in my room the entire time, and what you're gonna
Yep.
take my little black and white TV that I had in there. Like, go ahead.
Yep. Pretty much. Yeah. Go
But I'm
ahead.
gonna
Yeah.
wander around the other rest of the like. There's no way you would keep me restricted to that room. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I mean? So it was he wasn't gonna get rid of the rest of the TVs or the console that might have been out in the living room or in his room or wherever. And it's like all we ever did was like watch standard TV. So you had your Maury, your Jerry's, your court TV shows that were on TV, like news stuff like that, like Saturday morning cartoons. Other than that, you were watching VHS tapes and maybe a DVD here and there.
Let
That
me
was
tell
that was
you.
it.
Let me tell you how. Let me. Your side note, yo. Like
Yeah,
real talk.
yeah,
It's so fucking hilarious, like seeing like today's kids who are like under 21.
yeah.
Like when you call them young, like or like insinuate that they're young, like even if you like when they, because they'll expose themselves. Like when you ask somebody, oh, you know what this is? Oh no, I don't know what that is. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
oh yeah, I forgot how old you were. And then they get this look of like, well, no, I didn't. No, I know what it is. Yeah, like they get so
They're
offended that
flustered.
they are not old. They flustered that they're not old. Like I'm like,
Baby, you don't want
that's
to be
shit that I
old.
like. You don't want to be like, yeah, like sorry that you're the youngest one in the room, but like that's just the truth, shorty.
Right?
But the other girl, like she's my wife age, like she 23, 24. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
like Like yeah, like so, like yeah, like it goes in order. Like you are,
Mm-hmm.
but you were born after 2000 and fucking one. You were not. 9/11's coming up, and you weren't even a thought yet.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
I get
your
it.
mom didn't even know she would. Yeah, your mom didn't know she was gonna be knocked up by that year of. You know what I'm saying? Like in a
Mm-hmm.
year from then.
Yeah.
Like she
Let's
would probably run
see.
around being a little hoochie mama. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Corey says the only thing I grew up watching on TV was the Food Network channel and PBS Kids. Back on the Food Network channel, actually had cooking channels for majority of. I remember back then. See, okay, growing
Oh my
up,
god, that shit used to be free too. Yeah.
yeah, growing up, um, for the majority of my childhood, we didn't have cable at my house at all. Now, unless I went to Brenda's or I went to a friend's house, that was the only time I was watching cable. Okay, so I got standard basic TV with the antenna. You know what I'm saying? So, I used to watch just like random shows that were on, standard channels that you could get. Or you'd be watching like old shows that were like on loop on like channel 48 before it would switch back to being a religious channel. You know what I mean? Those were the days.
Mm.
Shit.
When you can get
Uh huh.
everything on channel free,
Ugh.
like you didn't need cable. Like wrestling, I used to watch on channel 13.
Oh,
I remember.
wrestling came on two different. Well, yeah, two different channels. So you had WB
It
17, which
came
was
on basic, yeah,
SmackDown.
because USA channel. Even when it was just USA used to be a basic channel.
Yeah. Well, then, okay, so they switched SmackDown from 17 WB 17 to UPN, which was 57 for us.
It was 13
Ugh,
for us. I can't even forget that.
dude, those were the fucking days. It was a simpler
It
time.
was right there on UPN,
Mm-hmm.
SmackDown Thursday, and it was Thursday night, not
Yes.
Friday.
Yes.
Thursday.
And then eventually they switched
God
to
damn it!
Fridays, and oh my god! And then occasionally they would
I
bring
was.
back the Saturday Night Main Event, which would come on NBC 10, and
Hmm.
that would
And then
fluctuate with schedule.
this is where, and I can tell you exactly when they started. You can tell they were I didn't think about it back then, but I thought about it. You can
Yeah.
tell they were transitioning to cable TV because Velocity started coming on Spike TV. I remember it was Saturday. It used to come, and then Heat started coming on Spike TV and all these other like no,
Yeah.
Heat Sunday Night Heat came on MTV. Yep, it came on MTV for a little bit, and then like yeah, like I can tell they were transitioning to like cable TV right then. So
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, like right after Sunday Night Heat, Monday Night Raw, right there
Mm.
on motherfucking like yeah, Monday Night War.
You
It
know
was
what? And
on, and then they moved that to cable television to compete with WCW.
there's something about those times that I totally miss. Like, it was so simple back then. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't this
So
worry of
fucking
like
simple.
having a phone on you all the time and always checking in and being connected with everybody. Yeah, like you would get your dial-up internet and shit like that. Fine, but
But like if
not
you
everyone
lived in a
had that.
neighbor, but like
You
but
know?
everybody lived like every the best part about our generation was we lived
Yeah.
on a block. If you live on
Yep.
a block, everybody in that neighborhood is looking out for you, like whether you
Exactly.
know it or not.
And that's the thing.
Like
As
if you living in a community, like
mhm.
that's what it was the difference. When it was a community back, it was a community back
And
then.
that's the thing.
Like
It's
my
as
mom knew everybody in the
yep.
building, and she knew, and everybody knew who her kids was. So like yeah, like
People were
you
more
know, and
social back
all
then.
everybody's
Yeah.
kids knew each other. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like everybody kids knew each other. So it's natural the parents are gonna know who they are. Like, oh, who's their parent? Like, you know what I'm
Well,
saying? Like that was the first question any parent asked: Who
who's
are
your
they? Who's
parents?
their parents?
Where
And
you
where you
come from?
going?
Yep.
And what time you
Mhm.
gonna be back? And yeah, like
I
yeah,
mean, I
like
feel like I would get
I gotta
questioned
meet.
less, but like that's the thing. It's like our parents would push us outside, and they're like, "Go, just go." They didn't care where we were going. Yeah, they might give you some restrictions of, all right, you're not allowed on this street, you're not allowed on that street, da 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 da. But I would like,
My mom would ask, like, I need to know who they are, like who their mama is, who their daddy, like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, I need to know these questions.
like I would
She was
go,
always check, like,
like for me, I would go to the community like right outside our neighborhood because that's where some of my friends lived. But we all knew where our friends were at because all the fucking bicycles would be there. You know what I mean? And we just run up. That's just how it was.
actually,
We didn't have to call
like we would,
nobody.
yeah, like you ain't had to call nobody because, like, if you live on a block, like, you're not going no further than the block. You were not allowed to go past the neighborhood,
Yep.
like the block.
Yep.
Like, if you go past our block and you go on to the other side of the neighborhood and I can't see you no more, you went too far.
Right. Like,
That's what I was told. If I went anywhere past our street, if I went past this
mhm.
particular part of our street, I
Yep.
went too far because now my mom can't see me. And then I was after when I broke that rule, she restricted me from going any further. So when my friends are
Right.
going off riding their bikes, I
They're
was
not allowed to
not
go.
allowed past the. I was not allowed. It was a Domino's
It
pizza
was
right down the street. I was not allowed down past. I was not allowed to go past our street.
well, that's the thing. It's
And
like
she meant that shit.
if she saw you go to where you weren't supposed to go, or if somebody else told her where you were at, that's where your ass got nailed.
Somebody snitched.
And it was
Somebody,
like,
and then guess
fuck.
what? That is 10 times out of 10. Somebody snitched on me, and it was my older fucking sister, the little.
It's
My,
payback. It's like,
mm,
there you go. Corey says,
bitch.
I wish I had stories like that growing up on a block. My family never stayed in one place for more than like 2 years, so I don't have stories like that. Yeah, like I moved around a bit. I wouldn't say it was frequently, but like either I would move away for a little bit and then I'd come back pretty much to the same spot. So it was like I was never gone for too long. And like back then, we had such freedom back then that I guess we kind of took for granted in a sense. Um, like I had a best friend that lived like a couple houses over on the other street behind us. So we would just like walk through the yards behind the houses and like boom, we'd get to each other's house. That was before she went crazy. Um or we'd go over to the community that was right off the side there down towards a pond. There was a pond and that used to be owned by the person that owned the place, the area that we were living at. And or owned the land where we were all living at. So we'd go down to that pond and like hang out with everybody and or we'd go into that neighborhood where our friends lived and that's where we'd hang out and it was just kind of a normal thing for us to be running amok, honestly. I mean, it's crazy to think like back like when I was a kid, from elementary school to middle school, doing like 24-hour skates and being able to stay overnight at a skating rink with barely any parental supervisions and it just being a bunch of fucking kids just running amok, you know what I mean? Or people of different ages
There
running
you
amok.
go.
Like that's shit that I was doing with my friends. Like or, it was such a different time.
It was different time, man. It was like
There
it's
was
like
so
I
much
said, like this.
freedom. Like it was crazy.
It was freedom. It was so much. It was just a different time, and it's like, and it's
Mhm.
crazy. It's crazy to say that like our era, like
Mhm.
it's like almost a lost art. Like I said, like it'll probably circle back around in some other time, and like, oh yeah,
Right.
it used to be like that when I was a
I
kid.
mean,
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
tough.
Like,
It's honestly tougher nowadays just given the climate that we live in and there's so many creeps. Not saying that there wasn't creeps back then, but there's more opportunistic creeps nowadays that will take advantage of our
I
children.
mean, you got. Well, I mean, like nowadays we got all these diseases and crazy ass people and the whole nine.
Yeah. I mean, back
Yeah, like
back then it was
back then
it's
back
tough.
then it was different. It was different back then. Like yeah, we had people like yeah, like my reason why my mom like yeah, my mom told me why she didn't want me going past the block and all that stuff like that. Because back then, like kids was getting snatched up, and there was no
Yeah.
way to like, you know what I'm saying? Like nowadays there's so many ways people, you know what I'm saying? People videotape stuff. Like
Oh yeah. And that's
it's
the
hard
thing.
for
It's like
criminals to get away with anything nowadays.
it is, but there's still people getting away with it. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely,
Um
1000%.
and
But
it's just like what Corey just said in the chat. She said the crazy have always been there. We're just more aware of it now. Um, we're now hyper aware of them to the point where people think it's going to happen every day. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like all this stuff has been going on for years. It's just crazy to think that back then everyone was so, I don't want to say carefree about it, but basically in a sense it was. Like, yeah,
some people were, yeah.
my dad gave me limits on like, okay, you're not allowed to go out on this road because he thought I was going to get snatched up or something out on that road. But yet you let me go to a skating rink to stay overnight for 24 hours where somebody could have very well snatched me up and just took me out of there and just, or, something bad happened at the skating rink, you know what I mean? So it's,
Right.
I don't know, it's just,
It was like yeah, like now. I mean yeah, when we were kids, we ain't gonna pay attention. We're not paying attention to no stuff like that.
I think
But like
nowadays
now,
you have
but
criminals that are more bold but stupid. You know what I mean? Back then,
kid, just hearing the stuff kids do now, like the people
yeah,
do stupid shit for trending and all social media and shit like that. Like people do it for the sake of just doing it. Like I'm like, bro,
yeah.
get the fuck out of here.
Like, I'm sorry, eating Tide Pods. Come on, are you fucking dumb or are you dumb? Like,
Like, I heard that. I heard about that shit. I'm
like how dumb are
I
you?
know these
Like, natural selection. It's, you know. best right there.
I didn't do well. Even there were dumb shit people did back in my era, like jumping bikes off of hills and mountains and shit
Yeah,
like that. Like
those were the
yeah.
days.
Like I tried that shit and I busted my whole
Bro,
motherfucking
we
bike.
were
Like
doing
yeah, like
stupid shit all the fucking time.
and I quickly learned my lesson. Okay, don't do
Oh,
that
bro, I took a
again.
sled off the. There was this hill in our neighborhood that they would occasionally.
There were only like five teenagers that ate it in the first place. Yep.
Right?
And that's all it takes. It takes a few people, and then it goes viral, and then millions
And
all of
then
a
like
sudden are doing
other people start doing stupid shit and like testing the limits and. But like I used to do just dumb shit. Like there was an incident with a sled, and this particular hill that they had made was just like they would just take the random dirt and like level out grounds in the neighborhood for whatever reason. I don't know. And we thought it was a good idea to go off that chunk that was taken out. And yeah, hurt myself pretty bad. But was it fun? Hell yeah.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
we used to do stupid shit like that, like take things off of like steep areas that we shouldn't, mess around with, or you know, ice skate on like thin kind of thin ice where there's like rocks like right underneath protruding through it. Like, yeah, let's fall back and hurt our head on that. Did that a few times. That was great. You know what I mean? Like kids today are doing stupid trends of like suffocating themselves. Like I think there was like one called like the blackout challenge or some bullshit like that where they were like suffocating themselves to a point and they were like basically killing themselves. Or like there's a bunch of stupid shit and it's like why? Like why?
Why?
Like I'm not gonna do something that's gonna like, oh, I guess doing stupid shit of going off hills was, could have hurt me bad, but I'm not gonna ingest something or do something purposely to like cause me bodily harm. You know what I mean? I mean, when you're going off of hills with bikes or sleds or snowboards or whatever you're doing, you're not thinking of the possible physical injury with it. At least I wasn't. I was always doing stupid shit. Oh my god. Or walking around barefoot everywhere. Ugh. Those were the times. I would like walk on glass and shit. It was great. Corey says, I have a great story of my twin brother and my eldest brother. Eldest brother convinced my twin to go down a stupidly steep hill. Twin attempted it and rode straight into a bunch of jumping cacti. Wow. All right, I will say this. My brother did do something stupid, and I've told the story a few times. Uh, my brother, Georgie, God love him, um, we were at my Nana's, and we were out in her front yard. We both had big wheels, okay? If anyone remembers big wheels, they were dope, okay? I had a girly one. It was like pink and purples, the girly colors. His was like a boy's one, the blues, the yellows, reds, and shit like that.
Power
And
wheel. Who don't remember the power
yes,
wheel?
yes. He took the big wheel and rode down like the front yards back then. And I don't know if they ever fixed them, but they were kind of steep. They were like very short and steep. And he wasn't being supervised, which blame the adults there, which my Nana,
Right.
and my mother. Um, he went down the hill, and I believe, from what I remember, there was a board, like a 2x4 or something, at the bottom of the yard. And I thought he cracked his head on that. But no, he cracked his head on the sidewalk, apparently. Busted his head open because he thought it was a brilliant idea. Granted, we were young. We were stupid,
I'm
okay?
so jealous of the kids of today. Like they when they get their power wheels now, like they look
Ugh.
like full fledged actual cars.
Dude, I had a fucking Barbie Jeep.
Man, like this, I'm looking at these little kids. They got Wraiths,
They
like
got
little
Range
fucking
Rovers and
motorcycle,
Hummers and shit
Range
and
Rovers,
motorcycles. And I'm like,
Hummers and shit. Like
shit.
there's one that like there's an actual fucking like Jeep. Like it's almost a full size Jeep. I'm like, this little ain't got the license to drive this shit. They gonna pull my kid over.
I
Like,
am jealous of that because it's like I got a fucking Barbie Jeep, man. A Barbie Jeep. Granted, I loved Barbie back then, but
they got a whole G wagon Mercedes. Like
shit.
man,
They got shit that actually looks like cars. You know what I mean? It's not like some like mock up of like, okay, you're getting like a Hot Wheels, version of this, or you know what I mean?
it looked like a whole Barbie Jeep. I remember we used to roll around in my friend's fucking Barbie Jeep, man, and it was like it looked like just a it looked like a toy. Now these kids got full fledged
Dude,
everything, man. I'm like, damn,
I remember only using that Jeep like Not that long. I think the problem with those Jeeps back then, or with those types of the Power Wheels, was like the battery would die out super quick, and like you would have to get a replacement. So I only remember using it like a
Mm.
few times, or my parents just didn't feel like charging it, or my grandparents didn't feel like charging it because I think it was in their basement. But yeah, that was a time. Corey says, "Oh, my family had a pair of those baby Jeep things. They don't stick around for very long because we would just run over each other." I mean, a lot of those Jeeps, those vehicles don't last very long at all. Like the battery is absolute garbage, and like getting a replacement sometimes is so difficult. Dude, that was a time to be alive. Ugh,
Craziness, man.
my size
Great
Barbie.
fucking memory.
Ugh, I had a my size Barbie. I used to steal her clothes and wear them, so I'd leave her naked in the corner. And like with my Jeep, my like Barbie Jeep, I remember like for whatever reason I was obsessed with the sounds from the one Ninja Turtles movie where like April's like grabbing things. She has like newspapers in her arm or something, and like she's like takes this like her keys and her like this rubber snake that I think was in the fridge. And like the way she's putting it down, and I try to recreate that, and I like stored all the stuff in my Barbie Jeep.
Mm,
Oh
mm,
my
mm.
god, it was a time. I love
Crazy
it.
fucking time. I think that's a good place to stop at, though.
Yeah,
Honestly.
fuck the conspiracies. We'll do that next time. But
No, no, no. I was just thinking that. I said we could say that for next time. This was
yeah,
a great way to just get back into it. Like
I
honestly, we
mean,
hit Mark 2 hour two.
I mean that's the
Two.
thing. It's
We got 2 hours out of this
it's
though.
two
We got a good
hours.
2 hours out of this.
That's because we sit here and we
I
just.
told you sometimes some questions of the day start like that's why I came up with it because it's like
I know.
that's a good way to start
You
off
know,
a good conversation.
it's fun because like since we don't talk that often or get to do this, it's just I don't know. We get on these
It's
random
just getting all it,
tangents, and it's
but
natural.
it fit.
Yeah,
It
it's
fit.
nice.
It fit today's vibe. Like today was just like you know what
It's
we're
very
back.
chill. And you know what?
We're
It gives us
talking. We're
time.
letting.
It gives us time to build up more
It was like
conspiracy theories. So
I don't know. I mean, I got a bunch of them, but like that's gonna take like yeah, we already hit 2 hours. So I said, fuck it. Let's just say that for next time.
for
Maybe hit
real,
2 hours like
it
that.
gives me time to do more of the conspiracies. So it works out for me, man. Like
Yeah, yeah. So I want to wish everybody, you know what I'm saying, in the chat. Thank you, Corey. You know what I'm saying. You were great.
she's
You know what I'm saying.
dedicated. She
So
she she hangs. She hangs. Other people
hey,
can't
man,
hang.
she got
She a real
other
one.
people that don't want to real one, man, real one. You know what I'm saying. So
It's
like,
true.
all right.
But
So
yeah,
let's finish it up. You do your wrap up. You know what I'm saying.
but yeah, it's great. It's been so long since we've done one of these, and just to like banter back and forth. Obviously, it's a great time, and this is how it usually is when we get together and talk. Whether we're gaming, we kind of go back and forth. But yeah, thank you all for joining us. It's like it's like being at like the award show, and you're like trying to get me off the stage to wrap up my speech. But it's been fun. It's real. Stay safe, stay hydrated, wear a mask. Let's just get the vaccine if we can. We got another W assholes. I love you all, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.